More disappointment.
Oh, my God. The Jets killed him.
Welcome into ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy live in the Ingalls studio on a rainy, dreary Thursday afternoon. It's a threadbare Thursday here in the Sportsocracy.
I had to put up mullet Schmiegel baby one job because I forgot to plug the sound in. My bad.
Well, that is one thing that you need to do as you want to follow us on the YouTubes.
And for those of you that were upset about the sound, my bad, Shawty.
Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click that live video link, subscribe to the channel. That way you can join us in the chat for this threadbare Thursday.
I'm wearing all rain gear. Every bit of clothing I have on right now is water repellent.
Nice. It's a good day to wear that.
Yeah, I didn't know this until my wife pointed it out, but the shorts that I wear many days are actually a bathing suit. So, I mean, they have other purposes too.
Right.
But it was very nice when I got out of the Parks Ford Mobile Studio this morning with the lovely keister warmer on, and as soon as I hopped out, I went, whoa, that was a shock to the system. I went from 110-degree keister to 45-degree keister.
Uh-huh.
And then I scurried in the building like, good.
So that was why you were touching yourself in my studio.
Yeah, well, it's not – that sounds bad. I don't like the way that was said.
Yeah, he came in rubbing his keister, and I was like, what is wrong with you? And why are you telling me this? I don't need to know about what's happening there.
Okay, look, the button, it's an intuitive button, and it knows. I don't know if there's a temperature gauge in the seat, but it knows that needs to be warmed up.
I was driving around a little while ago thinking we've started the clock. We've started the clock on when Tank's going to stop wearing shorts, and it's going to be long pants season. That doesn't ever come for Jeremy. Jeremy stays shorts all year round. But we're officially on the clock of how long can Tank push this until the pants season begins.
Well, we all have that one friend that it can be snowing and they're wearing shorts and hey dudes, and I'm him.
Jeremy is that guy.
What it do, baby boo.
It is a Threadbare Thursday, so if you got a topic that you want us to talk about that we haven't talked about this week, throw that into the chat, and we will get to it.
I mean, I feel like we have to start with the story we completely ignored yesterday.
Joe Falco.
No more Joe Falco.
There seemed to be a minor uproar over that, and I don't get it. I mean, I guess from the standpoint, if you're an Indianapolis Colts fan, you know that this is the signal of we're not trying to get a playoff spot this year.
No, I will say that if you were going to choose a week to play a mobile quarterback that can't throw, the New York Jets is as formidable of a time to choose that as any. You could come out running the Lou Holtz veer, and I think it's a fantastic way to play offense, even in 2024.
Are you saying your team's going to get their face mushed this week?
I'm saying the Jets are a 4-point favorite, and that to me feels really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
The ghost of Lou Holtz is going to haunt us. Former New York Jet head coach Lou Holtz.
Jonathan Taylor should be a fantasy option for you this week.
Listen, Anthony, this is really not a difficult game plan for you to understand. You need to snap the ball. You either hand the ball to Jonathan Taylor or you take off and run yourself. If you throw that football, I swear to Jehovah, we are going to have a problem.
I did love the comments yesterday in the media at the press conference. Shane Steichen talking about Anthony Richardson, saying that he's made big strides over these last 2 weeks to learn how to be a pro's pro, I think is how he put it.
Well, the only thing I can think with Joe Flacco and Anthony Richardson is South Park once did an episode, and it was about elections, and they were running a Dr. Douchy against a turd sandwich. And that is what I feel like the Anthony Richardson-Joe Flacco debate is.
Mm-hmm. But there's upside to one. There's very little upside to the other. Okay, Joe Falco can win me games right now. Do I really want to do that? I need other pieces on this team, so whatever I'm targeting in the first round the higher the better.
So
correct?
what's the I don't dispute that. I am not reading this the same way you are.
Okay.
I feel like this is a strategic decision of, hey, I've seen this defense and they play zone a lot and they don't stop the run very well. So we're going to run a mess of times.
But this is not just a for this game move. Shane Steichen said clearly yesterday that this is for the rest of the season.
Oh, weird. I've already heard you say that once, and sorry,
But
I
you
don't
can't
believe you, bruh.
But at this point, now you can't do it. Now you can't go back.
Oh, no, 100% I can.
I don't think you can.
No, 100%. I win this game. I'm still in the playoff hunt. And next week, I play the Detroit Lions and get my face mushed because Anthony Richardson comes out and throws 4 interceptions. Don't be shocked if we're having the same discussion again. These are both losers. All right, there's not a winner in this. Which quarterback gives you a better chance to win football games right now?
Joe Flacco.
I don't think it's even close. I really don't. Anthony Richardson is a horrifically bad NFL quarterback. Horrifically bad.
But he is
Probably worked this week.
But he is our former first-round pick.
So what?
And we don't want to win right now.
But
we
they do.
We want
you want
to
them
develop.
to not win. That's not how they're looking at this.
You don't think so?
I don't think so in any way. They're looking at Anthony Richardson right now, and Shane Steichen can't come out and say this of, you know what, we got 2 grumpers, and I'm playing the matchups here. I'm treating the Indianapolis Colts like a fantasy football team because Joe Flacco will get hurt. Joe Flacco would get killed against the New York Jets. Because with that line and their ability to get pressure up the middle and those corners with the receivers you're trotting out there, I'm not worried in the least. But I got Anthony Richardson that's going to come out here and run around, which the Jets struggle with. They're trying to win games. They are still in the thick of a playoff race, of which I don't think there are a lot of teams that I would feel warm and fuzzy if I made the playoffs. The Colts are one of them. Sneaking in as the 7 seed, I don't feel great as the Bengals. That's not what I expected to be. I don't feel that way about the Jets. I don't feel that way about the Dolphins. I do feel that way about the Broncos and the Colts. Do either one of us believe in them? No. But we're not the coaches of these teams. You got 2 guys that are in their second years that I need to take a step forward. And making the playoffs is a step forward.
Oh, okay. All right. We did read that completely opposite because I saw this and I heard what Shane Steichen said. And when he said, this is it, this is the move for the rest of the season, and we go from here because we still believe in this kid. We know he's talented. He just has to learn how to do the things that make you a successful quarterback. And the only way that he's going to do that is to play. The only way that we're going to be able to mold him is to get him playing time. He sat on the bench for the last 2 weeks. We've had him doing I don't know what, exercises or whatever, what you've been doing to instill in him the things that he needs to do in order to avoid embarrassing situations like pulling himself out of a drive because he's tired, right? There was a lot of mental things that go on with him. You can't go in front of the media and say, this is my guy, and then immediately switch back in the next week.
Oh, yeah. When his
mental state is the number one thing that's the problem here. You can't give him that public vote of confidence and then back off on it next week because we're playing the matchup.
What's the difference between you just did this 2 weeks ago? You just told me Joe Flacco was the starter for the rest of the season. I don't believe a word Shane Steichen says. Straight up, I'll be as honest with you as I can, but you've already burned me once. Oh, it's Joe Flacco for the rest of the way. 2 weeks later.
You didn't realize how bad Flacco was going to be.
He's not worse than Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, but again,
in 10 starts, how many times
there's no upside here for me with Flacco.
There's no upside with Anthony Richardson either.
There is. I can develop him. I can get him playing time.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
That's the goal, though.
Well, I mean, that would be like you telling me that your goal is to be a prima ballerina. I don't care how much time you put into this. You're going to fail because you have 2 left feet and you're the clumsiest human I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, but that
you
doesn't
can walk
mean
one hand and defecate in the other, see which one fills up faster.
Yeah, but if I've already invested in you, we're going to try to make you better.
They're tapping out on Anthony Richardson at the end of this year regardless.
Okay.
You can't look at what he's put on tape. And first of all, he's worse right now than he was 2 years ago. Not debatable. Watch the tape. The kid's thrown for 223 yards one time in his entire career. 10 starts, he's done it once. This is Justin Fields to the Caleb Williams power multiplied by Jamarcus Russell.
Right.
This is a disaster. The only thing I can wrap my brain around is you're trying to make the best of a bad hand. They're trying to win this game this week. Do I think Anthony Richardson's going to be good? No, I don't. I do think he presents a matchup problem for the Jets. But will I be shocked if Joe Flacco starts for this team next week? No, I won't. Because right now, Shane Steichen has a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, and he's missing about 100 of them. And he's trying to make this as, all right, so we don't have any border pieces. We're going to try to make the picture in the middle as clear as humanly possible. This is a bad team. This is also a bad conference. And if I can make the playoffs, I mean, look, we've already had people in our YouTube chat calling for Shane Steichen's head. He got votes for Coach of the Year last year. They're a game out of the playoffs. That should tell you everything you need to know. You're doing that thing that I often have to tell you, you're thinking what they should do because you don't have a job on the line here. Shane does. And you understand he got this job because he did a masterclass with a quarterback that was not a great thrower, that was a big, bulky kid that ran pretty well. Well, unfortunately, the reason you got hired, you have served to be incapable of fixing this. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Short of salvation in Creekwater, I don't think there's anything that Anthony Richardson could do to become an NFL quarterback. He's going to need to find some kind of religion or maybe find some magic beans because he is horrifically bad. But Indianapolis is not dead in the water. You're treating them like they're the New Orleans Saints. They're not. Not in their own head, not on the field, not in the standings, nothing. And this is, I think it was Soaring Eagle that said we had example number 1,739,654 of the Dak Prescott rule. Well, this is example 849,313 of this is why you don't switch coaches. This is why you give coaches votes of confidence. Take the journey with me. Let's say you lose this very winnable game if you're the Colts. Look at the rest of that schedule. You lose to the Jets. How many games do you feel good about winning? You play the Lions next week, and I'll be honest with you, they let you play 15 guys. I'm not sure I care.
2, 3.
You play at the New England Patriots the week after Thanksgiving in Foxborough, outside, in the cold, against a defense that is way better than yours.
Yep.
You play at Denver, a team that I believe is better than you.
Outside, in the cold, mid-December.
You play the Titans, at the Giants, and the Jaguars. So think about this as your employment. You've made some boo-boos. You have one great big boo-boo that was the biggest project you've ever had, and you didn't even show up for the presentation. And if you did, you showed up with a cup with dirt in it. I call it cup of dirt.
Well, it's only because they didn't give me any seeds.
Well, explain it. It's a cup with dirt in it. I call it cup of dirt. Please just put that F on the top of my paper and let me go home. So you're looking around going, I got to salvage the grade. I got to salvage my job. I have 5 games for the rest of the schedule on the rest of the schedule that I could even wrap my brain around potentially winning. If I win those 5 games, where is my record? 9-8.
9-8.
9-8. And one of those games is against the Denver Broncos, which is probably the team I'm competing with in my own head because Cincinnati lost, and now you're going to have to catch me. And you've already lost a ton of games in this conference. I'm just trying to find a way to make the playoffs. I'm Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined. It's not good. I know it's not good. But I need a credit in that account because I've taken a lot of debits because Anthony Richardson is a joke. For as bad as I thought he was, he's worse. And I got to save my job. I don't want to go back to being an underling to Nick Sirianni. Does that look like a lot of fun? It's a lot more fun when I get to call the shots. I need to get this win. Next week, the Lions are going to mush Anthony Richardson's face. And then 2 weeks from now, guess what? We go into New England, a smart defense, and I have a quarterback that can't stop turning the ball over. Won't be shocked if it's Joe Flacco, and I mean it this time, is our quarterback for the rest of the year.
So don't listen to what he says. Shane Steichen's a liar.
Well, he's already lied to me once. 2 weeks ago, we did this exact same thing. But no, seriously, I mean it's Anthony Richards this time. Until he does something else that is as catastrophic as tapping out on a play on third down in the red zone. Because I'm not going to lie to you, I won't be shocked if he's got another play in the playbook where you go, what the hell did you just do? You just ran backwards into the other end zone. I mean, I know that sounds crazy. Would you have ever in a million years thought an NFL quarterback would go, nope, sorry, coach, got to tap out on this one.
I didn't.
Bring in the left-hander, coach. Seepy. I'm seepy.
You're in the Sportsocracy. And this is ESPN Asheville. Do they want to win? Do they not? What do you think? We'll be back.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again? Introducing the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. With an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at nissanusa.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Callaway is the place to be on Saturday, November 16th as WCU football takes on VMI. Come cheer on the Catamounts and celebrate the 50th anniversary of E.J. Whitmire Stadium. Advanced ticket sales start at just $16 for adults and $11 for kids. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. on the beautiful campus of Western Carolina University. For tickets, visit catamountsports.com or call 800-34-GO-WCU. Go Cats!
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, if you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast. So, for any kind of office.
I'm really going places in my office.
Count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is J.W. Whitley with Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I'm so excited to introduce you to this month's Parks Community Hero, Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels, with the help of numerous volunteers, delivers nutritious meals and friendly conversation to homebound seniors. Throughout their meal delivery program, you can help seniors keep their independence. To get involved, visit MOWABC.com. Thank you to Meals on Wheels and congratulations, our Parks Community Hero. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
You two are just dumber than a bag of hammers.
Back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville on a threadbare Thursday. Again, if you got something you want us to talk about, get it into the YouTube chat. Speaking of, we have a super chat that we can start off this segment with here, Jeremy.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. That's how you get in, and you can super chat. And Matthew Hoffman says, Debo swinging on people. What's the plan with Penix in Atlanta? Will that be a J.J. McCarthy type of situation now? Or and I'll be at New York versus Indiana.
Jets, Colts. Come
Jets,
on now.
Colts. I don't know. It's basketball season as well. It could have gone to a basketball game.
He could, but he's a Jets fan.
New York, Indianapolis, booing in person.
I couldn't go to a Jet game. This Jet team, I could not go because I would sneak down behind the bench and I would be in a fight with somebody. Because I would be that, you suck! You! Right there, you! I'm talking to you!
Wait,
all of you.
Wait, Jeremy would go to a game to boo?
This team, yes. As stupid as I find that to be. Yes.
Uh-huh. All right, good. We just wanted to know that there is a level.
If you're new to this show, I think booing is going to a stadium to boo it makes my head hurt. I've just never understood paying money that goes to them. By the way, boo you, boo. I don't understand that.
Which is weird because you're a New York sports fan, and that's what most New York sports fans, I feel live for.
Exactly. That should explain it for you. I'm a New York sports fan, which usually means by the time any of my games kick off, tip off, drop the puck, anything like that, I'm so drunk I couldn't drive a car anyway. And I don't want to pay for an Uber. I'm not paying for an Uber to boo, that's for sure. Let me let Dave in his Toyota Prius drive me to Madison Square Garden so I could boo the Knicks.
All right, I think I got to ring the bell here for William. William Workman says the question of how Jeremy got sent to jail. Answer, he went to a Jets game.
Bingo. Oh, yeah, you catch me in a jail cell? I mean, I really feel like that's a Mad Lib that writes itself.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy got intoxicated, at a New York Jets game. And got naked in front of a police horse.
All right, so Debo Samuel swinging on people? I don't think I heard this story.
Yeah, that was on the sideline after the missed kick.
Oh, yeah. I mean, did he take a swing?
Yeah. I guess.
I mean, was there contact?
I mean, if we're going full Dave Chappelle here, then yes, technically he did. I mean, it was kind of and I can't recreate this well because I know how to throw these hands. If you ever wanted to have your full wrist up and then swing it forward like you were trying to just boop somebody with a fist, that's kind of what
like
he did.
You were kitty punching.
Yeah, like just you stop it. No, it's like a little rabbit punch. No. Look, things aren't good in San Francisco.
No,
none of these guys are looking around going, "Man, I feel good right now."
No, and how can you blame a guy that sits there and watches the kicker just completely give the game away?
The kicker that you drafted, by the way, in the third round.
Yeah, that's not wrong.
I can't hear Mr. Moody's name without imparting that wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I've always kind of found this funny that people look at incidences like this and they don't understand. I mean, look, we've all worked bad jobs. We've all been in situations where we didn't believe in management, where we didn't believe in our direct supervisor, whatever the case may be. And sometimes on a really bad day, they say something that just really irks you. And you've had that thought. Now, take your job, and instead of working at Home Depot, you're working with 52 alpha males that all think that they're not the problem. Put that much testosterone on a sideline and wait to see what happens. Oh, by the way, all of your management are also guys that played in this league that probably in the back of their heads think they could still do it better than you can. Shocker. It leads to bad things sometimes.
Right.
That's just a microcosm of San Francisco to me.
Mm-hmm.
The better, at least the question that I looked at and I went, I don't have a great answer to that. I have a theory. was the Michael Penix question. I still think Michael Penix is the quarterback of the future in Atlanta.
Yeah.
They're looking at Kirk Cousins. It was always a 2-year plan. He's going to come in for 2 years. We'll have the 2 latter years of the rookie deal and the option year for Penix to be the guy, and it just extends our window. Now, here would be where the but comes in. If you're Atlanta, you've gotten a full year preview of Michael Penix. And I think there is a better than zero chance that you've gotten him in the building, and you're maybe not as impressed with him as you thought you would be. And when we get to this offseason where you talk about the diviest dive bar you've ever been in, there's one pretty girl in this entire bar, and there's like 10 dudes, and they are all here for a purpose. You're going to buy a lot of drinks. You chuck Michael Penix out there, there's no telling what you get back. And is there a possibility that Atlanta gets offers on Michael Penix that are so significant that they can't turn it down?
Would somebody offer him like a first-round pick?
Oh, I don't think it would be just a first-round pick.
Really?
It's the guy that went number 8 in the draft, and there was another team completely prepared to take him a handful of picks later.
Who was that?
Las Vegas Raiders. That's exactly who they were taking.
They went to 11, right?
No. Minnesota traded up to 10 with the Jets. Jets picked at 11, took Olaf Shanu, and then the Raiders took Brock Bowers at 12.
Gotcha.
Or no, Bo Nix went at 12, then the Raiders took Bowers at 13. It was something like that. I can't tell you the exact number.
I think you're right. I think you're on track with the Bo Nix at 12. That sounds right to me.
I was there.
We were there, but still. That was a long time ago.
Look, I had Wednesday night with the Chainsaw Boys. So, yeah, you rest assured, brain's not clicking. The old brain batteries need a recharging.
A little foggy today. See, I don't know. I mean, maybe there is. Maybe the Raiders are interested.
The Raiders.
Who knows?
The Raiders' current brain trust would certainly be interested. That could throw a whole wrench into this. And I find that to be an interesting question because it sounds so outlandish that a team would take a guy in the top 10. But there is a possibility. And I'm not saying I've heard this. I'm not saying this is a report that's out there or something that was texted to me. But if you've gotten him in the building and you're looking around going, I don't know.
Right. If there's a question and you can flip him for equal value,
there's no telling what it would be.
Then there's no question. To me, there would be no question. I would do that. However, Terry Fontenot and the other brain trust there, he was all about it. They went out and got him at 8, and remember how savaged they were by everyone.
Oh, and they were very defiant in the face of that, too.
Absolutely. Every time Terry Fontenot talked after that, that was the first question that he got asked, and he was adamant. We were in love with this guy. We couldn't pass on it. He's part of our future, or he is our future after Kirk Cousins. I don't see how you flip on that.
Oh, I'll tell you how.
For less than equal value.
It's not going to be less than equal value. There will be no quarterback that moves in this offseason that moves for equal value. I've had 2 separate discussions in the last 2 weeks that Daniel Jones is going to be a starter in the NFL next year. It's just not going to be for the New York Giants. I want you to wrap your head around what I just said. Daniel Jones, who looks so completely incompetent that it is pitiful, he's going to get a second shot because there are so few quarterbacks out there because all these teams have committed to mediocre guys. This is a terrible draft class. That's the only reason I would even entertain it. But if they've looked around and gone, I don't know. He's an older guy. I don't know how much development there is left. And you haven't had to put him out there. That's the.
Of course, that's almost the argument to keep him. His age is almost the argument to keep him. Of maybe he'll hit the ground running.
Oh, all of this is conjecture. I don't believe anything in Atlanta's plans have changed. But everything has a price. In the words of my buddy, the $1 Million Man, everybody's got a price. And I'm telling you, some of the things I've heard floated about J.J. McCarthy, we're not talking about a first-round pick. We're talking 3 first-round picks for J.J. McCarthy. And it wouldn't just be one team offering it. That's how desperate teams are going to be for quarterbacks, and they don't believe in anybody.
Yep.
Even Cam Ward. I thought that was a universal. We all felt that way. Nope. I've had a handful of draft guys that we put out a reel that I said Cam Ward's going to be the number one pick in the draft, and they basically responded with, no, he's not. No, he's not. It's going to be Shedeur, and it's going to be Deion calling the shot of where he goes.
Yeah.
And then Travis Hunter is going to call the shot of where he goes. This draft could be, when I say nanners, this could be the most nanners draft we've ever seen.
Really?
Because you could have one guy that's a college coach that completely hijacks everything.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll let you, because you have the most talented quarterback. He's a head case, and not everybody's in love with him because they don't really want to turn over the keys to the franchise to this guy. They also don't want Deion Sanders' input in everything they do. And the best player in the class is also that's his trusted advisor.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a lot of fun. It could also be an unmitigated disaster.
I can tell you one way to have a whole lot of fun, and that is winning money on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The Emirates NBA Cup is here, and you can win big just getting in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. All 30 teams split up into 6 groups, and every Tuesday and Friday of the weeks, they will play for the right to advance in the single elimination in-season tournament, culminating with the NBA Cup Championship in Vegas. If it is your first time wagering, you can get in on the action. There's a little special thing just for you, new DraftKings customers. You can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Score big with the DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Low pressure and front going east. That should just about do it for the rainfall. Maybe some lingering rain for about early afternoon, then 50 degrees with a cloudy sky, but most of the accumulating rain over. Cloudy tonight, 43 with a gusty breeze. Friday, much better. Drier air in on a northwest breeze, partly sunny, 55. Saturday, sunny, 65. Sunday, sunny, 70. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Need assistance from the recent disaster and want in-person help? You can find your nearest FEMA Disaster Recovery Center by visiting FEMA.gov/DRC or use disasterassistance.gov to apply with FEMA today.
I never thought much about final expenses until my dad passed away last year. That's when I decided to take control of my own final expense planning. Then I found the Smart Money Insurance app. I secured a final expense insurance policy that fits my needs and budget. You can get coverage up to $25,000 with policies starting as low as $14 per month. Download the Smart Money Insurance app today and take the first step towards your peace of mind.
Insurance sold by Smart Money Insurance Services, Inc. Underwritten by various insurers. Coverage exclusions and limitations may apply.
As you all are recovering from Hurricane Helene, count on Lowe's for help with cleanup and repair. Visit Lowe's in-store or online to find out about relief efforts in your area or get emergency supplies now.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford, Hendersonville. I would like to introduce you to some of our very own Parks Community Heroes, like Jeff and Chris, who led a fleet of Ford commercial vehicles throughout the night, delivering supplies with emergency services to all corners of the county and first responders. Like Daniel, a veteran who accompanied law enforcement and other veterans to perform search and rescue operations. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
Back in the Sportsocracy, ESPN Asheville. Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce's homes were broken into last month. Apparently there's an FBI investigation going on right now as to what the circumstances were involving the two break-ins. One happened at Mahomes' house in the early morning hours of October the 6th, while the next day, October the 7th, Kelce's house was broken into. I guess the question becomes, are these cases linked? Is it an inside job? Did they leak their addresses online somewhere? And
are you asking if,
I'm just wondering, is
if
this
they
targeted?
got doxed?
Right, exactly. Like, is this a coordinated effort to try to steal something from the players of the Kansas City Chiefs?
Well, I mean, it's I can tell you my address got leaked one time online, and nobody felt the urge to FAFO there.
Well, I mean, there's a difference. I mean, breaking into your house, we're going to find a half gallon of Fireball in the freezer and a whole bunch of beer cans. At Travis Kelce's house, apparently, he has $20,000 in cash sitting on his his counter.
I'll put it this way. I went to a bar the other day that was cash only, and I knew it before I left. I was almost to the point of rolling quarters. That's how little cash you will find in my house.
Precisely. Like Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, I mean, I understand the target-rich environment that is. It's odd, is it not, that both of their houses got broken into in a 24-hour period. That makes me think maybe this is connected, hence why the FBI is involved. Now, I said that to say this. So this means that the last two games for the Kansas City Chiefs were karma paying them back for getting broken into. That's how I'm squaring this in my mind. And now it's over, and guaranteed they lose this week. The streak will end.
Who do they play this
Calling
week?
it now. It's the Buffalo Bills.
Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
Glad no one was hurt. Nobody was hurt. They're investigating.
You probably find, breaking into Travis Kelce's house, you probably find him and Tay-Tay having a sleepover. Little pill fight. Stop it. My story is about my god-awful New York Jets. It's a nightmare. It just won't end. You won't let it die.
Mm-hmm.
The New York Post, they asked Aaron Rodgers point blank if he intends to continue playing in the 2025 season. You care to take a stab at what his answer was?
Yeah.
I would have been better with yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been better with yeah. He said, I think so. Yeah. Yeah, think so. Think it will. He was asked, have the Jets' issues this year changed his plans? And he said, not really. Not for the negative, no. You know what that tells me as a Jet fan? Is that now the boo-boo kitty year is making him want to play more. This is a lot like the kid that you didn't want to play with that really wanted to play with you, and so he would just come knocking on the door, and mom would make you.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, I'm going to throw you in a hole. Like, you want to go play by the train tracks? Because I saw Stand By Me. I know.
Ouch.
I just,
Jeremy's a mean kid.
Hey, you want to hear a fun stat? the New York Jets play in the New York City area, right? Because even Jersey is considered the New York City area.
Right.
How many wins in the New York City area do the New York Jets have this season?
1. No? None?
2.
Oh, okay.
The Winnipeg Jets, the other Jets, play in Canada. How many wins do they have in the New York City area? And their season's only been happening for a month.
3.
It's 2.
Oh.
They have the same number. They've only played 2.
Mm-hmm.
Jets have 6.
It's not a good winning percentage.
No.
Not at all.
No. You would have a better percentage with the ladies if you tucked your shirt into your underpants, and asked them if they wanted to come to your house and see your mom's Precious Moments collection.
Don't ever touch your underpants in public. Let's stay away from doing that.
Got to tuck the shirt into the underpants. My mom has a curio cabinet full of Precious Moments. Would you like to come see them? She will make you a grilled cheese sandwich.
Mm-hmm. We got another super chat in the YouTube comments.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
This one from Red Sea. He says, the classic Jeremy excuse. I was there, but I was intoxicated.
It's infallible. You don't know. You saw me. I was there in body, but was I there in spirit?
There is a term in the radio business, and we use it a lot. It's called know your audience. It's also great to see that the audience knows their host.
Well,
it's good to see. Good to see.
Well, I mean, we all have used that acronym. Too long didn't read.
Mm-hmm.
TLDR.
Mm-hmm.
I have one. TLD. Too long. Drunk. I actually got intoxicated while I was reading your email, and then I didn't respond to you.
We will get to one of Red C's questions here because we'd kind of planned to talk about this earlier in the program since we did not touch on it yesterday much. Shane Waldron fired by the Chicago Bears. Thomas Davis now takes over as the offensive coordinator.
Awesome. That is the equivalent of, oh, God, I was cooking dinner and I set the kitchen on fire. Awesome. Go change the sheets on the spare guest bedroom bed. That'll fix it. I'm sure that'll put the fire out. You had players literally going to the owner, the GM, and the coach going, please sit him down. He's terrible. I went back last night after a beverage or two, because that's when I do my best work, and I pulled out the old iPad, and I started watching film of Caleb Williams. Because I heard an interview yesterday, and it was an interesting take on Caleb Williams that I've heard it before, but I haven't heard it from somebody that's smart. And so I watched not every throw he's made this year, but a lot of them. He has a problem that I've never, ever seen an NFL quarterback come back from.
Okay.
He is too scared to make a mistake. He's so tentative with the ball. Because so watching the All-22, I can see guys that break open, and I'll watch the play through one time, figure out what the route combination is, and then watch it back through. Because obviously Caleb knew the route combination going into the play. So I look at it from the perspective of how I would have seen it as the quarterback. Do you realize how many throws he's leaving on the table per week? Because it is a staggering number. Rome Odunze is open a lot.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Moore is open a lot.
And is it just because he doesn't want to push it down the field?
That's what it looks like to me.
I mean,
It looks like he's scared to make the mistake.
The last game he played, I don't think there was a throw over 15 yards.
That's hard to come back from, and I'll give you a comparison that's not apples to apples, but it's the best I've got. So you and I are we're both video game men. We like to play the video game.
Yeah.
We obviously have talked a lot on this show about playing College Football 25 because we both love this game.
Mm-hmm.
What difficulty do you play on?
Heisman, I think. Isn't it like Heisman All-American, or is it All-American Heisman?
All-American's the one under Heisman.
Okay, so All-American.
I was about to say, if you're playing on Heisman.
No, I do not play
I would love to see how that goes. That has Tank gets beat 164-4 written all over it.
Right.
So one day, for giggles, go set it on freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
And just figure out how easy it is to throw underneath. And do that for 5 or 6 games. And then bump it up to Heisman and see how hard it is to throw it down the field. Because you've gotten so used to just taking the dump off, the little ticky-tack, because a lot of teams will give you that. Your Tampa Bay Buccaneers live by a mantra of bend, don't break.
Yep.
I'll give you the drag route because you ain't going to beat me that way.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get into the red zone, it becomes practically impossible for you to complete that because there's so many bodies in a small area. That's what Caleb Williams is doing. I get that people think he is talented. I saw Dan Orlovsky absolutely went nanners talking about the potential of the Bears benching Caleb Williams. And I am here to say I don't think you have a choice. Because here's what's – let me look into my crystal ball of the future and tell you what's fitting to happen. Because I've looked at your schedule, and I've looked at your quarterback, and I've broken this down, and I believe I can see into the future. Tank, how many quarterbacks in the NFL that start games are currently averaging less yards per attempt than Caleb Williams?
I would say none.
There are a few.
Bryce Young.
He's tied with Daniel Jones and Bo Nix.
Okay.
He's right behind Andy Dalton and Mason Rudolph. And that is relevant. Just put a pin in that. I'll come back to it.
Mm-hmm.
The ones behind him are Will Levis, Spencer Rattler, Tyler Huntley, Skylar Thompson, Aiden O'Connell, Bryce Young, Deshaun Watson, Jacoby Brissett, and Dorian Thompson-Robinson. You know what every one of those quarterbacks have in common?
What was that?
None of them are any good. None of them are any good.
Mm-hmm.
He's at 6.1. What do you think Lamar Jackson's at?
Average throw?
Average, it's yards per attempt. Lamar's leading the league.
9.8?
9.3.
Okay.
Brock Purdy's at 8.8. Russell Wilson's at 8.7. By the way, that is a huge change from Denver. Just throwing that out there. Still not ready to say I was wrong on Russ, but that is a big difference.
There's a difference.
Jared Goff, Jalen Hurts, Sam Darnold, Jaden Daniels. Maybe you see a trend.
Yep.
Look at the upcoming games for the Bears. You play the Green Bay Packers in your building this week. Hey, what do they do really, really well? They disguise blitzes. They disguise a guy that's coming because they bring guys up and then somebody drops out and you don't really know where they're coming from. How do you beat that? You got to press it down the field. The week after that, you play the Minnesota Vikings. Hey, how do they play defense? Oh, they bring everybody up to the line and try to confuse mediocre quarterbacks, and they're real good at it. How do you beat that? You got to throw them out of it.
Yep.
The Detroit Lions, San Francisco 49ers, the Vikings again, the Lions again. Then you get to a Seahawk team that doesn't do that as much. They're more of a just line it up and see how the chips fall. That's actually an advantageous game. That's the only game you have left. That's the only one left on the schedule. There is a possibility that if you don't do something to intervene on Caleb Williams, this team's going to be 5-12. And I got news for you. Matt Eberflus is as good as dead anyway. You can fire him in the season. You can fire him after the season. I don't really care when you fire him because your team's so irrelevant that I don't really care. I do have a big fear of what's going to happen to your roster, though, because you have a veteran-led team. DJ Moore, who's on his fourth iteration of coach coordinator combinations, 2 in Carolina, now 2 in Chicago.
Yep.
Because you've booted out Shane Waldron. Shane Waldron wasn't a problem. Shane Waldron is schematically was not your problem. There are guys open. Caleb Williams won't let it go. I've never seen a guy stop doing that.
It was one of the number one things that Thomas Brown said yesterday in the press conference was the kid's got a lot to figure out. He's got to get the ball out of his hands. And he's got to learn that he can't use that.
He holds the ball forever.
That God-given ability, that we all know is there. He said he's got to use it, but not every play.
And that's what I was saying with the comparison to video games.
Mm-hmm.
If you do nothing but beat up on the juvenile level of how to play a video game, you never get better at it.
Yep.
That's all he's done his entire life.
Mm-hmm.
This was my huge reservation about him coming into the draft because you've never played a good defense. I went back his entire college career. I found 6 times that he had ever played a defense that finished in the top 30 of defensive efficiency. Do you know what the commonality of all those games were? You either lost or they handed it to you.
Mm-hmm.
And most of those losses, you didn't just get beat. You got obliterated. I think you have to sit him down because you're running the risk not of breaking him. I don't think he's broken. I think the way he looks at the field is broken. And you've got to progress him along. I screamed this from the mountaintops. He is not as ready as you think he is. He's not, because he's not an NFL quarterback. This is nothing different for me than Timmy Chang or Colt Brennan or Andre Ware or any of those guys that played in fluky systems in college that schemed guys open, and you don't know what to do against an actual defense. They force-fed you what to do. His eye discipline sucks. He cannot get through progressions. He sits on routes for probably longer than any quarterback I've ever seen. And that wouldn't be such a problem in Denver. That wouldn't be such a problem in New England. That wouldn't be such a problem even in Washington because you have younger guys. Chicago's got a bunch of dudes that this may be your last bite at the apple. And they're looking at the defense going, we're pretty much holding up our end of this bargain most weeks. The offense is atrocious.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all because of you. Everybody wants to talk about the offensive line.
Yep.
The offensive line's not nearly as bad as you think it is. Okay?
Really?
No.
Okay.
If you hold the ball for 3 seconds, there's nothing I can do. You got to get a ball out in 2.2 seconds in the NFL. That is a benchmark. Mm-hmm. You might get by with it at 2.5 occasionally. You start getting into the threes, that's Sam Howell territory. You're going to get sacked 80 times a year. The only thing saving him from that is he is captain check down. And so he will throw that little, and he can run.
That's the only thing that he's comfortable doing. That's part of the problem.
And now you're getting into a point where now you're running those reps on freshmen of I'm not even trying to throw it down the field. Mm-hmm. And when I open up the playbook, this is going to be like Frogger sitting in the middle of the interstate just going, sweet Jesus, how do I get to the side?
Yeah. I mean,
you can break this kid in this half of the season, the next 7 games. You can irrevocably break him if you're not careful.
Mm-hmm. But how do you teach him? How do you teach him to stay in the pocket? How do you teach him to have better eye discipline? How do you teach him to make better decisions
against the schedule that's upcoming? Mm-hmm. You can't. You can't, because this is the definition of his nightmare. The team's already turned on him. I've heard that from more people than you. You know how many people from Chicago we met. I still talk to a lot of those guys.
What's the fastest way to make the city turn on him? That's my question.
Miss the playoffs?
Is the fastest way to make the city turn on him is to play him and make him let him continue to show you that he can't do this job, or do we put Tyson Bagent in there and then everybody turns on him while he's sitting?
I don't think everybody would turn on him while he's sitting.
Okay.
If you bench him, you take the onus off of him. He wasn't ready. Flat out, he wasn't ready. We've had a coordinator change. I can indemnify him from a lot of this.
But how does Ryan Poles keep his job after that?
He doesn't. Now we're back to the problem of the more talented quarterback here is Caleb Williams. Oh, he could develop a year from now. That doesn't mean squat to Matt Eberflus. Doesn't mean squat. So all these players that are coming to him saying, oh, you got to sit him down for the betterment of our season, I don't agree with you. Because I'm looking at Tyson Bagent going, I don't think I can win that way. Didn't win last year. He was fine. But I'm not going to win enough to save my job because I'm tied to Caleb Williams. So you're going to keep chucking him out there. And guess what's not going to get any better? Then you're going to miss the playoffs. And if you doubt me in anything I've just said, go to our YouTube channel. Go to any social media we have. Watch any video we've ever posted about Caleb Williams. Read the comments from Bears fans. You weren't just out to lunch. You were smug and arrogant and confident, and now you have poo in your shorts. That's not something that goes well for Chicago because this was Lucy pulling the football. And now you got egg on your face. And you got to have somebody to blame. Matt Eberflus ain't enough. He's a defensive guy. Oh, the offense is terrible. Who do you think you're going to blame? Shane Waldron's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Brown's a running back. So, okay, we're going to run more. You think you're beating Minnesota that way? Because I don't. You think you're beating the Detroit Lions that way? Because I don't. You think you're beating the Green Bay Packers that way? Because I don't. I said this probably 4 weeks ago, and I still had Bear fans that were egotistically, arrogantly responding. Because what I said was the Lions are up here, the Packers and the Vikings are in the middle, and then there's a significant drop-off to the Bears. And you know what I got? There's no drop-off to the Bears. Well, we were both wrong. Because you said there's no drop-off. I said there was a significant drop-off. And what I should have said is it's the Grand Canyon. Because that's how far behind these teams you are. And it all ties back to the fact you took the wrong quarterback.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville NFL Owners Rankings. Next.
Summit Dental believes that success is defined by the quality of care and not by the number of patients seen. If you're looking for a different dental experience or you're new to town, call Summit Dental. Dr. Reinhardt and his staff pride themselves on a personalized approach to dental care and to building relationships with their patients. Expect complimentary benefit pre-checks that detail any insurance estimated out-of-pocket costs before you visit, and close attention to your comfort during that visit. Summit Dental. 828-277-6868.
More than 4,500 wildfires burn across North Carolina every year. 99% of these wildfires are the result of human activities like backyard burning and campfires. That means most of our state's wildfires are avoidable. We need your help. 1. Never burn on a dry, windy day or leave your fire unattended. 2. Keep a water source, shovel, rake, and phone nearby. 3. Have a valid burn permit. You are our best defense. Learn more. Visit ncforestservice.gov. ncforestservice.gov.
I never thought much about final expenses until my dad passed away last year. That's when I decided to take control of my own final expense planning. Then I found the Smart Money Insurance app. I secured a final expense insurance policy that fits my needs and budget. You can get coverage up to $25,000 with policies starting as low as $14 per month. Download the Smart Money Insurance app today and take the first step towards your peace of mind.
Insurance sold by Smart Money Insurance Services, Inc. Underwritten by various insurers. Coverage exclusions and limitations may apply.
Using a Clorox disinfecting wipe to clean that stuck-on sauce from the stove feels like...
Oh, boy. That tickles. Stop.
It feels like coming home to your needy corgi after a long day.
Best part of the day, finally.
With Clorox, clean feels carefree. Clean feels good. Use as directed.
Get ready, Asheville. This year, the Holiday Parade is taking on a new look as the Holiday Jamboree, presented by Bojangles. Join us in Pack Square Park on Saturday, November the 23rd for a festive day filled with holiday fun, produced by the Asheville Downtown Association and the City of Asheville. Enjoy live performances on the main stage. Shop for unique gifts at our holiday market. And don't miss free photos with Santa, a gift from the North Carolina Arboretum. Get into the holiday spirit with family and friends. That's the Holiday Jamboree at Pack Square Park, Saturday, November the 23rd from 11 to 5. Don't miss it.
With WWNC, you can have traffic reports in your bedroom.
Get the latest traffic updates anywhere you've got a smart speaker.
And find out about your drive before you even get in the car.
News Radio 570 WWNC.
This is where it starts. Where your story begins. This is the trail you blaze yourself. And step by step, you get stronger, faster, better. This is where it starts. How will you finish? Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Low pressure and front going east. That should just about do it for the rainfall. Maybe some lingering rain for about early afternoon, then 50 degrees with a cloudy sky, but most of the accumulating rain over. Cloudy tonight, 43 with a gusty breeze. Friday, much better. Drier air in on a northwest breeze, partly sunny, 55. Saturday, sunny, 65. Sunday, sunny, 70. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by GeneratorFranchise.com. Millions protect their homes from power outages with Generac home standby generators. Would you like to be part of this lucrative industry? Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer, has limited franchise opportunities in your area. Learn more at GeneratorFranchise.com.
WWNC is Western North Carolina's news and information station.
On your radio and on your phone with the free iHeartRadio app.
You'll have the smartest smartphone in town.
News Radio 570 WWNC.
If you're living with chronic joint pain in your knees, hips, lower back, and shoulders, I've got exciting news for you.
Emmett Smith, all-time rushing leader and Hall of Famer.
Now you can get relief from pain without harmful medications and surgery. Call my guys at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics specializes in biologic therapies that can repair and restore damaged tissue. I'm talking about natural pain treatments now available, not just for pro athletes, but to people like you.
At QC Kinetics, we're seeing patients every day who suffer from chronic joint pain but who desperately wanted to avoid surgery. We're treating joint pain with biologic therapies, regenerative solutions with long-lasting results.
Listen, it's all about getting your life back. Playing touch football with kids, walking upstairs pain-free, getting back on a job, and patients at QC Kinetics are raving about the results.
QC Kinetics. Call to learn more about restorative treatments that can get you back in the game.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website, check. That's check. Enter it now.
It's your chance at an inflation vacation. Go to ESPNAVL.com and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh, my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app. We're seen everywhere on YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel. Join us in the chat for this Threadbare Thursday. We'll continue to take your suggestions for topics in the YouTube comments.
We are here to please.
Mm-hmm. We are. But we also want you to be, open to discussing the ownership rankings of the NFL, because this was asked yesterday of us, and we thought, well, that's a good discussion to have when we're sitting here, 7 weeks away from the end of the regular season in the NFL, to take stock of who's doing the best job.
We've actually never done this. Every year we do a organizational franchise power ranking before the season starts, and we have a ranking of ownership that we use to determine that. But we've never really gone through it. So we figured today, after it was asked, Kelvin Joyner, I believe, was the one that asked this yesterday.
Believe so.
We thought, you know what? It's Thursday. We'll do it today.
So as with all power rankings, start at the bottom, but now we're here.
I figured you would argue with me way more about this than you wound up arguing with me about this.
Yeah. We did have a mini argument, and we'll share it with you right now. At number 32,
Jerry Jones, the fourth.
And I know how crazy it sounds, but when I started thinking about this, of the current situation that we find ourselves in with this 2024 NFL season, is there any other owner that's doing a worse job with more?
I asked it a different way. That is how I got Tank on board with this. Is there any owner in the NFL that is actively doing more to hamper the progress of a franchise. I'm not talking about your stadium. I'm not talking about any of that. The product on the field. Is there an owner that is doing more to harm his team than Jerry Jones? And his answer to me was
no. I don't think so. There's only one owner that's even close, and it's the owner that's at number 31. Go ahead and announce it.
Michael Bidwell of the Arizona Cardinals.
Right.
He's been 32 on this list as long as I've been on this show. This is the first time I've ever looked at Jerry Jones and gone, he has gone full kooky madookie, and he has passed Michael Bidwell.
It's that whole I find drama anywhere thing with Jerry Jones that I have no stability whatsoever, though I like to keep the illusion that there is stability because I'm the only thing that doesn't really change. I'm the only thing that's not in flux here. I have been waiting for the moment when he is going to go, oh, yep, the Mike McCarthy thing, nope, that didn't work. Just like the Jason Garrett thing didn't work, just like the Dave Campo thing didn't. Like, there's so many turns. He's tried so many ways to make this a winning franchise, and every step of the way, it's a dumb move on his part that keeps them from being able to realize their true potential.
Having a lot of money does not make you smart. Jerry Jones is a great businessman. He is a horrible football man. Ask yourself this question. I'm looking at all 31 other owners in the NFL. How many of those people could print money the way the Dallas Cowboys do and have this team as bad as they are right now? It ain't many. And most of them, I feel like, would break it from the business perspective. Jerry's so involved that I almost feel like he's in a area to himself. Of you're the only. Some of these guys, I don't even know what they look like. I sure as hell don't know what they sound like. Jerry, I can impersonate. He's the worst owner in the NFL, and I could make the argument he's the worst owner in sports.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Super chat from Great North Sports. He says, but can Jerry turn down the sun? Because it's too bright. He could. He actually could turn down the sunlight in the stadium by using the damn curtains.
Yeah, it's called a curtain. Yeah, he could do that.
He could.
He won't.
Well, we knew where the damn sun was when we built the stadium.
Look, nobody can see. And as long as nobody can see, it ain't advantage for nobody.
Have you ever noticed that the more Tank does Jerry Jones, the more he starts sounding like Ross Perot? Can I finish? Can I finish? And I'm not going to lie to you, the more time goes on, the more I start to see him as H. Ross Perot. He's terrible. Jerry Jones is awful. He's the worst owner in the NFL to me, and I don't think it's even close.
All right, let's talk about Bidwell for a second. Because, I mean, it's pretty much the player surveys and such all say that he's terrible.
Awful. Yeah, we had one good hire doesn't save you.
We had that big expose on the Bidwell organization last year by ESPN. I believe that was last season that all came out. It was in complete chaos and turmoil before you made the GM hire.
They had holes in the floor of the weight room. Like, he's cheap. He's poor by comparison. In all reality, the NFL should have forced him to sell this franchise several years ago. They don't do that, largely because a lot of them are going, I don't want to start that, because if we do, you might come looking at me. He is a terrible owner. It's actually, to me, it's even more impressive that Jonathan Gannon has been able to come into this circus and make it as good as it is. That shows me how good of a coach he actually is. The Cardinals are an absolute zoo.
Yes.
And if you notice, I noticed this we were doing the rankings, a lot of the teams that used to live down here, they don't anymore. For a slew of different reasons that we'll get into as we get to those teams.
Let's go to number 30.
Shad Khan.
Owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, he continues to be a joke, and the more and more he hangs on with Trent Baalke running the show down there, and the more hires that they make that are just that don't work out as head coaches, the more they punt this generational talent that they drafted, it gets worse and worse. The more his son gets involved with AEW stunts.
Yeah, that's what he is.
Yeah.
He's Vince McMahon. And they even have the same goofy little mustache now.
Shave that, Vince.
That's not true. Vince is pencil thin and makes him look like Vincent Price, and Shad Khan's makes him look like a villain in a Bond movie.
He thinks he looks like Robert Goulet.
He doesn't.
Mm-mm.
Shad Khan is like the worst of a handful of Tepper. Sorry, they're losing their minds. Don't worry. You're not going to wait long, and we'll explain it, I promise. Shad Khan is like the worst of every bad owner melded into one because he's got a boatload of money that he doesn't spend well.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a weird city that supports the team, but it's really more of a college football town. It always has been, probably always will be. And then you take in the London thing, and just Shad Khan has done more bafflingly stupid things as an owner than probably any owner on this list.
Yep.
I also would be remiss if I didn't point out it's Jacksonville. It's the smallest market in the league. It's hard to be that bad.
Right.
And he ain't Jerry Jones bad, and he ain't Michael Bidwell.
Precisely. Ringing the bell for Stephen Tao, because at number 29...
David Tepper.
Is David Tepper, and yeah, he did end up at 29 because of the PR gesture of donating the stadium for the Hurricane for Helene relief concert with Luke Combs and Eric Church.
Eric Church.
Yeah, sorry, I got my country stars mixed up there. It was a phenomenal night, but the fact that he donated everything for that cause was awesome. And look, at least that's a decision that you've made, and we feel like maybe there is a little bit of uptick in trajectory here with the hires that have been made, and there's a little more faith now.
There have been a lot of negatives with David Tepper. I will tell you, behind the scenes, things have improved to a point. We're very close with that team. The goodwill of that concert goes a long way because there's so many things that people don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of being the owner of an NFL football team, is that you are one of the bastions of the community. And Jerry Jones, he would absolutely do it. Do I think he would have bought every parking spot in 6 city blocks? No, I don't. I think David Tepper's a good man. He's not a good football man. And he's really young into this, and he's still learning.
Mm-hmm.
So, you want to have him at 32? That's fine. I know the guy personally. I can't put him there. I can't. He's not worse than Jerry Jones. He's not. Period. He's not worse than Michael Bidwell. He's got too much money to be worse than Michael Bidwell.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not worse than Shad Khan because he's not a yard barker. Look, has he done a good job of owning an NFL team? Not so far. But I think it's getting better. And if I'm wrong a year from now when we do this again, I'll admit it.
Frankly,
but right now, I'm not there.
I mean, frankly, this is all the joke tier. There's not a good redeeming quality or many good redeeming qualities about all of these owners. So it's not like this is a vote of confidence that things are really going to turn around for the Carolina Panthers.
Divine Comedy said that's not about his NFL ownership, though. 100% it is.
Mm-hmm.
He owns the damn stadium. Of course it is. What do you think these guys actually do? Most of them have nothing to do with the football product. They might come in and fire a coach every now and then. One of your biggest jobs is community relations and how the community feels about you. And he was 32 7 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
He ain't 32 now. Look, I know a lot of y'all don't live here that listen to this show. It meant a whole lot. And we know things that the average person doesn't know. That was enough to bump him up 3 spots. I'm not telling you now that I'm not saying he's Robert Kraft. I'm saying he's gotten out of the cellar. And he's got a lot of work to do to even be a good NFL owner.
Mm-hmm.
But that was enough to get him out of the cellar.
Right. This is enough so that he doesn't get the poo shoe in the locker room. We're just not.
He doesn't get the do shoe.
Right.
Sure.
We're not going to poo shoe him. There might be an icy hot trick in there or something, but we're not.
Sure.
We're not poo shoeing him. All right. Let's go number 28.
Woody Nathaniel Johnson IV. I like him so much as a person. He could not be nicer. But good googly moo, you are one of the dumbest football people I have ever encountered in my entire life.
Mm.
The firing of Robert Saleh without telling Joe Douglas was enough to put you down here. You were already pretty low in the first place. And here would be my worry if I was Woody Johnson. We all know he's going to end up in Donald Trump's cabinet somewhere because he's already been there. We've already done this. And he loved it. It was the time of his life. He talks about it. I didn't realize this until I went back and saw some of my correspondence from the Jets. Did you know that he calls himself ambassador?
Really?
Yeah. In his email signature, it says Ambassador Woody Johnson.
Sure, I get it.
Well, I would, except you haven't been for the last 4 years, and all of those emails have been for the last 4 years.
Yeah, but it's that whole thing like once a senator, always a senator. Once a president, always a president. You can always keep it on your letterhead that even if I'm a retired senator, I'm still senator. As long as the word honorable comes before your job title in some form or fashion, and in all legislation it does. Right? We all know the joke of the honorable thing tied to government positions, but still it exists. Like once you're a judge, even if you're a retired judge, you're always judge. Same thing goes with the military. Once you're a colonel, you're always a colonel. I get to call myself Colonel Tank Spencer, but I get to put that little retired on the outside of it. So, I mean, I guess I get it. In some ways, sure, it's a little bit of a brash move, but you ain't never been an ambassador. I mean, wasn't Rooney an ambassador? Does he still use that? I'm curious.
I don't know. He was.
Because he was under Obama, right?
Yeah.
I think it was like the Irish ambassador or Scottish. Or I apologize.
I think it was to Ireland.
I think it was Ireland. Yeah, Rooney.
But in terms of, and we're getting a little off topic.
Yeah, of course.
But one of the things that I absolutely detest about owners is owners that get involved in things, and he did. The issue with Aaron Rodgers that I brought up in the last hour, you know he's really close to Christopher Johnson, right? Like they're buddies. They hang out because Chris got involved. And it kind of shows how bad Woody actually is.
Mm-hmm. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. We'll be right back.
Your ideal vacation? The beach? The mountains? The big city? We've got a better idea. An inflation vacation. Your chance to beat high prices with $1,000.
A $1,000 inflation vacation from ESPN Asheville.
Explore a career as a correctional officer. NC Department of Adult Correction is hiring with a $10,000 sign-on bonus. Becoming a correctional officer can be a rewarding first step along a criminal justice career. Visit dac.nc.gov/co-jobs.
Get ready, Asheville. This year, the Holiday Parade is taking on a new look as the Holiday Jamboree, presented by Bojangles. Join us in Pack Square Park on Saturday, November the 23rd for a festive day filled with holiday fun, produced by the Asheville Downtown Association and the City of Asheville. Enjoy live performances on the main stage. Shop for unique gifts at our holiday market. And don't miss free photos with Santa, a gift from the North Carolina Arboretum. Get into the holiday spirit with family and friends. That's the Holiday Jamboree at Pack Square Park, Saturday, November the 23rd from 11 to 5. Don't miss it.
This is J.W. Whitley, General Manager at Parks Ford of Hendersonville. Our purpose, to improve lives with every interaction. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. Like Trent and Doug, whose first instinct was to fill their trucks with supplies and drive to the hardest hit areas in those first hours. Like Eric, who hosted the football team to support their neighbors and begin the cleanup efforts. Nominate your Parks Community Hero today at parkscommunityheroes.com. That's parkscommunityheroes.com. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer. Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning, the cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
This is where it starts, where your story begins. This is the trail you blaze yourself. And step by step, you get stronger, faster, better. This is where it starts. How will you finish? Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
Yeah, that's still the tier that we're on here with the owners' rankings. It's not pretty.
No,
we're kind of splitting hairs about who's worse than who.
There's bad, badder, and baddest. Jerry Jones is baddest. We still got a whole bunch of bad.
Oh, yeah, because there's not much separation to me between number 28, who is Woody Johnson, the owner of the New York Football Jets, and number 27,
Marcus Aurelius Davis.
I hate this franchise. You all know this, and the fact that their owner is just a caricature. He's like a cartoon character.
He is he's a zombie, overweight child with a bowl cut, and I don't know what to do with that.
I mean, I didn't think it could get much worse than the Crypt Keeper, Al Davis. But then he ended up having, oh, wait, here's Blonde Chucky is now running the program. Sweet. This is going to work out great. And there's not a single decision that you can point to in the last 20 years of this franchise that you go, yeah, that worked out.
I've always been stuck on the fact that Mark Davis has a skin pigment that I've never seen before. He's the only gray person in America. I don't know how you achieve that. Dude, you need to go see a doctor immediately. He's awful.
Yes. There's no redeeming qualities there other than his girlfriends.
And allegedly, not even girlfriends.
Except he does have a cool stadium, but that's not the focus of this.
It's a great stadium. Because he moved to Las Vegas and they went, here, take a boatload of money because we've always wanted an NFL team.
At number 26.
Jimmy Haslam. Hey, you run truck stops, and you were like a governor or something. But you're kind of a kooky madookie.
And you can't allow this to continue.
Can I say something about the Cleveland Browns that, it's...
Sure.
So we felt like that organization had taken a step forward, right? Are we sure about that?
Well, I mean,
so we thought
we
thought they were no longer the Cleveland Browns.
Yes.
But are we sure?
No. They've done nothing but Brown.
You had 2 11-win seasons in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
You were 7-10 and 8-9 the 2 years in between that. You were 6-10, 7-8-1, and 0-16 the 3 years before that. You're still the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you didn't bust out of this. Neither did the Jets. Neither did some of these other bad teams that had a good year or two. You're still the Browns. And I just look at Jimmy Haslam and go, I don't really have – there's not a great redeeming thing about you. Now, we're getting ready to get into a tier of if you walked in this door right now, I'm not really sure I would know who you were.
Part of me wants to have them lower on this list.
We're not quite there yet, but we're close.
Solely because they were the ones that stepped out and gave the guaranteed contract when nobody thought that was a good idea.
That was the difference between 26 and 25, was the guaranteed contract to Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm. At number 25?
Stephen Ross. Fievel's dad.
Yeah, I mean, he just made a big contract blunder.
He made a boo-boo, but it wasn't fully guaranteed.
True.
And he looks strikingly like his son once went west. Big old ears. Little tiny head.
Mm-hmm.
Stephen Ross is a very he's a very impatient, he makes very rash decisions. And that's why I'm almost positive that Mike McDaniel is going to be this surprise firing. Stephen Ross, for me, your undoing as an owner is how in the world are you still playing in Hard Rock Stadium? One of the wealthiest cities in the country, and you're playing in a dump.
And is there any plan?
Not really.
I don't think so.
Miami's a weird town to me.
Mm-hmm.
You built a baseball stadium for a team that nobody cares about, but you can't build a football stadium for your NFL team or your college team. Make that make sense. Almost like the budget planner for Asheville, North Carolina went down there and allocated funds for a while. Just jokes.
I hear no lies.
Just jokes.
I hear no lies.
I meant that one, but just jokes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Stephen Ross is bad. He's got a checkered past, and who knows what's going to come in the next 3 months for that football team. But yeah, but the clock is ticking. Right.
Sure.
Right. We are on 11th hour here for Stephen Ross's patience.
Oh, for sure. We now have 3 in a row that are in a tier that I feel like almost belongs by itself, because I don't really know anything about you. You've each made one decision that I've ever seen, and none of them have been awesome.
Okay. At number 24.
Virginia McCaskey.
Number 23.
Amy Adams Strunk.
Number 22.
Rob Walton. Hey, you've all got a lot of money. And you all seem to really, really, really want to stay out of football decisions. Amy Adams Strunk made the decision to fire Mike Vrabel. I agreed with that. I actually don't see that as a negative because it had a ceiling. She's so new to this, I don't really know where to put her. Virginia McCaskey has kept this entire organization at arm's length. Yes, she shows up to games, but does she actually do anything? Everything I learned while we were in Cleveland was, the Chicago's, basically it's a family-run operation, and the son is doing way more than Virginia is. She's just the one that signs checks.
Right.
Rob Walton, I don't want to punish you. I guess I just thought Walmart money showing up was going to have a little bit more of an effect on Denver in a day-to-day aspect, and I know he spent a ton of money to go get Sean Payton. And that, so far, is decent-ish decision. But there's just not really enough information on you, and this is about the point where, for me, the bottom 10 or 11 were either you're really bad, and I know you're really bad, or I don't actually have enough information about you.
Yeah.
Now we get to 21, which is the first of I have enough information. You've done some good, but you're still not good.
Number 21.
Dean Spanos. This is the only one that Tank and I, we didn't really argue on. It was just, no, he's too high. No. If it doesn't start with a 2, you did it wrong. And
listed. I know that is they constantly take it on the chin from critics over not spending money. But at least I feel like this has gone well. This latest transition has gone pretty well. Unlike Amy Adams Strunk and the Tennessee Titans, I didn't like the fact that they got rid of Mike Vrabel. I didn't like the fact that it was so out there that there was friction between the owner and the head coach, and it has not gone well.
The problem with Dean Spanos is that he's notoriously cheap. Sir Jimothy asked a solid for us for the final 20 selections here. When we name the owner, could we possibly name the team? Because not all of them know. Okay.
Okay, my bad.
Jerry Jones, obviously, with the Dallas Cowboys. Michael Bidwell, Arizona Cardinals. Shad Khan of the Jacksonville Jaguars. David Tepper of the Panthers. Woody Johnson of the Jets. Mark Davis, the Las Vegas Raiders. Jimmy Haslam of the Cleveland Browns. Stephen Ross of the Miami Dolphins. Virginia McCaskey of the Chicago Bears. Amy Adams Strunk of the Tennessee Titans, Rob Walton of the Denver Broncos, and Dean Spanos of the Los Angeles Chargers. And moving forward, when I announce those, I will throw the team in there too.
Yes.
I didn't think of that. That's a really good point. And one of the things I love about having a YouTube chat is, hey, stupid, we don't all know who these people are. So if you could tell us, that would be.
Sometimes we get a little too close
There's also a graphic that will
content.
be up in this upcoming break that will show all of that because they're all clumped together.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We'll continue the countdown of the NFL owners next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Low pressure and front going east. That should just about do it for the rainfall. Maybe some lingering rain for about early afternoon, then 50 degrees with a cloudy sky, but most of the accumulating rain over. Cloudy tonight, 43 with a gusty breeze. Friday, much better. Drier air in on a northwest breeze, partly sunny, 55. Saturday, sunny, 65. Sunday, sunny, 70. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
With 2 convenient locations, Singleton's Automotive will keep your vehicle on the road. Singleton's offers routine maintenance, BG services, tires, inspections, alignments, and more in their family-owned shops. Singleton's Automotive is hiring technicians for both locations. Receive competitive pay and benefits depending on experience. Visit singletonsautomotive.com. That's singletonsautomotive.com. Car care with character.
When you're ready to go back in the day,
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind.
check out the all-new Throwbacks 101.1.
This is how we do it.
Allow me to introduce myself. Asheville's classic hip-hop and R&B. Come on.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
At Ingles, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go around the world on the iHeartRadio app, and the camera's moved somewhere else. I don't know.
Stop saluting the camera.
I can't help it. I talk
That's
with my
how you get
hands.
Goat Baby Tank, okay?
You can watch us on the YouTube stream, and sometimes it's fun to watch the camera just go wherever the heck it wants to go.
Well, they're AI generated, so there's a few things that you can't do.
Mm-hmm.
I learned it because I talk with my hands all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Tank, on the other hand, is just learning it today. Apparently.
Yes, today it's a new adventure for me. Apparently, I'm more animated today than I have been since the new cameras are involved, and When I said earlier the whole line about Colonel Tank Spencer, apparently that my camera rolled its eyes so hard that it just flipped to the ceiling.
It did.
So anyhow, all right, weird news. This week we're going to have or actually tomorrow, we're going to have a special moon. There's a full moon tomorrow night, but not only is it a full moon, it's also a super moon, which means it's going to appear like really big in the sky, but also it's going to have like a tint to it. So, you may have heard like the harvest moons, and there's different words for different shades of the moon apparently. This one tomorrow night's going to be known as the beaver moon. I tried to find a reason why. I don't know if it's just beaver season or what, but hey, tomorrow night, beaver season kicks off apparently.
There has to be more information than that.
That's what okay, so there's here we go. Spiritual meaning of the beaver moon. Oh, dear Lord. Apparently it's the last supermoon of the year. No real explanation yet on the beaver thing. I'll get back to you on the beaver thing. You tell your story, and maybe we can dig down and find out just exactly what makes this the beaver moon.
Well, my story comes from Yemassee, South Carolina. Apparently, somebody down yonder in the South Carolina way who works at a monkey facility forgot rule number 1 of monkey care.
Mm-hmm.
Lock the damn door, because they had 43 of them escape. But we have good news. Only 11 of the escaped monkeys are still on the loose.
It's too many.
Are you scared of them?
It's too many. We got to bring them in. We must collect them all. We cannot have just roaming droves of macaque monkeys invading the low country of South Carolina. That is just, to me, would be a plentiful breeding ground for macaques.
There's so many things I want to say.
Don't. You don't need to.
I can't do it. What do you think they're feeding the monkeys when they actually locate them?
Does it matter?
It was humorous
probably.
to me. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and Fruit Loops.
Oh,
so
nice.
Apparently, the escaped monkeys eat the same thing that Jeremy does. I don't eat peanut butter and jelly, but I love a good Fruit Loop.
Mm-hmm.
Have you noticed the new picture of Fat Baby Tank?
I have not.
Oh yeah, it's good.
Not.
It had to do with your beaver moon.
I do love that. That's quite nice.
That was back when you had
hair. Now you're getting into the Harry Potter territory. It's got to be a blonde kid.
That was back when you had hair, and it was darker. It's you staring at the moon with your fat beaver friend.
Me and Mr. Beaver just enjoying our late night activities.
2 are better than 1.
All right, so you're ready for the explanation of the beaver moon?
Yes.
All right, so according to this, the spiritual meaning of November's beaver moon, the full moon that takes place in November is sometimes dubbed the beaver moon, and this nickname is derived from the fact that beavers typically begin seeking shelter from the looming winter cold during this period of the year. It's still autumn, but November marks a shift toward the chilliest and darkest portion of the year in North America, so it makes sense that this lunation has also been historically called the frost moon or the freezing moon. But in America, we do love our beavers.
So what you're saying is that the beaver is looking to shack up and keep warm.
Mm-hmm.
I usually thought that happened around Valentine's Day, and it was called rutting season. You knew when he told that joke, when he told that story, you knew I had to tell a joke. It took me 7 minutes to figure out how to do it legally.
Right.
But I figured it out.
It's just kismet, though. It's kismet that the macaques would be out roaming during the beaver moon. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville. We'll listen everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
We're children, and we apologize.
We continue with the NFL ownership rankings.
They pay us to do this. That dumbfounds me.
It's They
And
never,
trust me,
they
I know
never know what we're going to say next.
And trust me, I know it dumbfounds some of you too.
Number 20 on the NFL owner rankings for 2024.
Oh yeah, we're doing a thing, aren't we?
Yep.
Yep. Mike Brown of the Cincinnati Bengals.
I already saw it too high.
He started way low. All right, here's my defense of Mike Brown. Obviously, we've become pretty close to the Bengals because they were one of the first teams that really popped on this show. So we have a lot of Bengal fans that listen to us. Mike Brown has basically stepped away from this team to such a point that his daughter's running it, and the daughter's doing a real good job. I think she's the CFO, and she's making a lot of calls. I kind of look at Mike Brown and Dean Spanos the same way. You're both notoriously cheap. The difference is that now I've kind of seen both of you break out of that mold. I just think I've seen it more out of Mike Brown. I really wanted to come up with some cute way for this not to be that name, but there's not one. Because technically he is still the owner of the team.
Yep. Mike Brown coming in at number 20, owner of the Cincinnati Bengals. Number 19.
Jody Allen of the Seattle Seahawks. I've seen that this one's too high. Here's my argument on it. She has not, according to everything I've been told, she does a lot more behind the scenes than people think. I'm still a little shocked she hasn't sold this team because when Paul died, I was pretty convinced that this team was going up for sale. But she doesn't seem inclined to do that. And she has made some calls behind the scenes, and I have it on good authority. She was the one that pulled the plug on Pete Carroll, and it was time. I don't think anybody, after the shock of that wore off, was shocked that it happened. I don't think anybody was really clawing and digging in that, no, that was the wrong call. No, it was time to move forward. He'd been here for a long time, won you a Super Bowl, lost you another one in a mind-boggling fashion. And Jody Allen was the one that had the gumption to pull the plug on it. I don't think she's great as an owner, but she's been far better than I think people give her credit for.
All right, if she was the one that pulled the plug on Pete Carroll, then give her credit for that. This is not a doom and gloom franchise. No. This is not a franchise that you look at and go, "Oh my God, we're spinning into the toilet," and Jody Allen is taking us there. Right? The same Seattle Seahawks fans that say she's the worst owner in the league are the same ones that keep trying to convince us that they're better than they are. I don't see how that makes sense, how you square that in your head. We're a better team, but our ownership is trash. I mean, if you're on the side of she needs to sell the team, then I get it.
I do too.
I understand. It was inherited. This ain't her thing. Maybe she needs to just sell us off to somebody who cares more about football than she does. I've heard that time and time again about her.
And I can't tell you it's wrong.
But is the current ownership so bad that it's as bad as a David Tepper or a Shad Khan?
Oh.
No. I don't believe that at all. Number 18.
Sorry, I was trying to find ways for Baby Tank to enjoy his pet. Ziggy Wilf,
owner of the Minnesota Vikings.
And I will say, it should tell you something that there's only one owner in the NFL that's ever been brought up on racketeering charges, and he made it in at number 18.
Does that have anything to do with the team, though?
All right, to be honest with you, I didn't even remember that until I was doing the background. I don't think he was convicted. If he was, he had to pay some large fine. I don't remember. But I saw it and laughed because I couldn't find a way for him to be any lower. I do go back to the Jim Harbaugh thing of, you were really the one that put the brakes on that. And how much better would you feel about Minnesota right now if he was the coach instead of Kevin O'Connell?
I don't know that I would feel markedly better about it.
I would.
You think so?
I think Jim Harbaugh's a great in-game coach.
Yeah, but those decisions, but that decision wouldn't bring you to where you're at now. I don't know that you would have the same setup now. And right now, I feel like it's got to be fun to be a Minnesota Vikings fan.
I'm
Kevin
sure
O'Connell and this offense are on a roll. Sammy D, the last 2 weeks haven't been great for him, but
Sammy D, MVP.
But You have the most electrifying wide receiver in the NFL.
Oh, Justin Jefferson's head would have exploded.
You have a
if they hired
defense.
Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, you have a
you
defense.
mean I'm going to get 6 targets a week? That's going to be a no for me, dog.
You have a defense that's overperforming from what was expected preseason. You've got Brad Holmes in the building, right? Or no, Kwesi Adofo-Mensah in the building.
No, the owner of that team is still
way far away.
Ways down the road.
I got the names mixed up in my head. But I mean, I feel like you've brought yourself to a point where I can't say that you're an absolute detriment to your team because your team's playing well. Yeah. It seems to be organized well.
To me, the Will family falls in right about that Pittsburgh Steelers, Seattle Seahawks line of 16, 17, 18, 19 in power rankings. That's where they landed. They're at 18.
Yep. And, number 17.
Gail Benson.
This one I don't know. I don't know how much to put on Gail for what has gone on over there the last 2 years.
Gail, if we're giving David Tepper love for humanitarian efforts, Gail Benson can't be any lower than this because she's done a lot. You pull up her Wikipedia page, humanitarian comes before owner of the New Orleans Saints. So I think she's a really good person. I'm not sure how good of an owner she is. She's way too loyal because obviously Dennis Allen should have been gone long before, but it's also very stable. The thing I remember about the Benson family, they've owned this thing for a long time. Tom was rash and could be a little bit impetulant. And I feel like Gail is almost trying to steer the opposite direction of maybe overthinking things, but the ownership group is still really stable.
Jordan says Gail did fire Dennis Allen.
Did.
So she gets points for that.
After going to the players and people in the locker room and saying, what's the problem? And as soon as she found out, okay.
Yep.
I think she's so super hands-off of most things. She treats ownership of an NFL team the way I want an owner to treat ownership of an NFL team. Of, I'm going to stay back in the shadows. I'm going to let the football people handle that. When I need to come in to be the deciding vote on something, I'll do it. Other than that, I'm going to use the money and the platform that this team has to do good things in the community. I'm perfectly fine with that. I have no qualms with that out of an owner. Because you're not a football person. You're a very wealthy person whose husband bought this team, and then the husband passed away, and now you're continuing the family legacy. I'm fine with that. I have no qualm.
Andreas Pinkney in the YouTube comments says, Benson's a great owner. The only issue is that she let Mickey Loomis have too much freedom. He had too much freedom. He had too much power. And his decisions have worked you into where you're at now.
I would agree with that, and that's part of why she got pushed down is because she is trusting the football people. If you're going to do that, you have to be really good at hiring football people. And I can't say that she is. I'm scared to look and see why you're laughing. After the beginning of this segment, I'm not even sure I can wrap my brain.
I'm going to ding the bell for Jordan. I'm going to say, you know what? You do you, bro. You do you.
Well, now I got to go.
I guess we like what we like.
Say the next number.
Number 16.
Cal McNair. I see it now.
Cal McNair. Or no.
Cal McNair.
Kyle. No.
Cal.
Cal McNair. Cal McNair of the Houston
He might have
Texans.
a son named Kyle. His name's Cal.
I was thinking, what's the mom's name?
Linda. Linda's technically, the family owns the team. Cal is the one that's actually, because you said this earlier and I had to dig deep. Linda's the one that cuts checks. Cal is the one that tells her what to cut.
Okay.
Because she's super hands-off.
Janice.
Is it Janice?
Yeah, the list I'm looking at says Janice.
Maybe it is
McNair.
Janice.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Listen, Linda. Janice.
Listen.
Kyle, Cal, whatever y'all's names are.
God,
the McNair family is just all over the Houston Texans team.
Just move on. Houston, mediocre. It's fine. Nothing to write home about.
Well, I mean, if you want to look at the ownership, you go back to the dumpster fire that was a couple of years ago. Now everything's changed in the front office. Everything's changed on the field. Hopefully the trend continues and you can keep climbing this ladder.
Jordan just made me do a Wikipedia search that I didn't anticipate doing today, and now I have to shoot my computer.
Okay, all right.
And I'm not going to lie, I see no lies, Jordan.
I'm going to have to take a look at that in the break then. So the McNair family for the Houston Texans gets number 16. Number 15.
Jim Irsay. We fought about this one a lot.
Yes.
Because Tank wanted Jim Irsay to be like with Jerry Jones.
Yes, I wanted him in the low 20s.
I don't understand why. I really don't.
I can't stand him. I can't stand the fact that he is always in the news.
He's always red. His face always looks hypertensive. And I guess that's
you know there is the shoddy ancillaries, the drug use and the DUIs and all of those things. But I work with Jeremy Green every day, and I can handle those kinds of problems.
I have neither of those things. You jackal. Trust me, you're not the only one that's surprised if you're – I get it. I know I am.
Exactly. And I just don't – I didn't like the way the whole Jonathan Taylor thing played out in the media.
And he won.
I mean, I guess. He didn't have to pay him $12 million a year.
He didn't pay him Saquon Barkley money.
Mm-hmm.
Jim Irsay is actually, I think, a good owner. Because what I asked you point blank was, what has he ever done that was detrimental to the team?
Mm-hmm.
He's done a lot of things that are detrimental to himself because he's Jeremy Green with $8 billion. I'm here to party all the time. I get it. That doesn't make you a bad owner.
Yeah.
Look at every Indianapolis Colt. Every time they walk back in the building, who's the first person they go to? It's not the coach. It's always Mr. Irsay. Listen to the way Pat McAfee talks about him. They love him. And, yeah, he's weird. He's kooky, and he's always got a heater in his mouth, and sometimes he wears, like, bathing suits to training camp. He's oh, my God, he is me. I don't think I've ever realized Jim Irsay and I might be the same person. He just has exponentially more money than I do.
Yes.
And he has a real fondness for hardcore illicit.
Right.
Which I don't.
And no, you don't. I'll give you that. But we all have our vices. And if that's the guy that – and if you're okay with that leading your organization, then okay. It wouldn't be for me. And if I was an Indianapolis Colts fan, I'm not sure I'd be happy with where we're at. Every major step we've had since Peyton Manning has not gone well. It's ended horribly. And I'm not saying all of that is Jim Irsay's fault. I mean, there's been a lot of victim of circumstance in there as well, right? The coaches that you've hired have turned out to do squat. Every experiment that's ever been tried has failed. And now we're sitting here staring at the Anthony Richardson experiment going, well, yeah, it's going to fail. So how good of an owner can you be if you allow all of this to happen under your watch?
I don't think Jim Irsay has a aggressive hand in that. You also have to remember they didn't have a choice.
Mm-hmm. I get it.
The two better quarterbacks were already gone.
Mm-hmm.
The fourth one was Will Levis. So played the hand you were dealt. I think he's a good owner. He's just a little kooky.
And he's a hell of a humanitarian. Saves whales and such.
He does save whales.
You're in the Sportsocracy. And this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Jeremy, there is a way to make some money on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. The Emirates NBA Cup is here. And you can get in on the action with the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. The way it works is every Tuesday and Friday, all 30 teams split up into 6 groups. They play in group play for the right to advance to the single elimination in-season tournament, culminating with the NBA Cup championship in Vegas. Who's going to score the most points? Yeah, you can make a wager on it. And if it's your first time, something special just for you. New DraftKings customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
Score big with the DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again? Introducing the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. With an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at nissanusa.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation.
FEMA is hiring people in Durham, Hickory, and Asheville to support North Carolina's Tropical Storm Helene recovery efforts. Many different positions are available for a wide range of skill sets, including planning, communications, logistics, and community engagement. Be a part of helping your community heal and rebuild. To see all open positions and to apply, visit usajobs.gov and type keywords FEMA and local hire. Then enter your location as North Carolina.
With tens of thousands of satisfied patients across America, it's no surprise QC Kinetics gets 5-star reviews.
I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
I'm able to do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time.
I can recommend them highly. I would recommend QC to anybody.
QC Kinetics has changed my life.
I couldn't believe it. I honestly was skeptical, but the pain went from a 10 to a 0.
Real people with real lasting relief from joint pain.
QC Kinetics Regenerative Medicine is regenerating me.
It was super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
This non-surgical approach is definitely the future.
I tell as many people as possible. I am an ambassador. I love QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. No drugs, no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517. 828-333-9517.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town, packaged fresh every day, and smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real, in the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is J.W. Whitley with Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I'm so excited to introduce you to this month's Parks Community Hero, Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels, with the help of numerous volunteers, delivers nutritious meals and friendly conversation to homebound seniors. Throughout their meal delivery program, you can help seniors keep their independence. To get involved, visit MOWABC.com. Thank you to Meals on Wheels and congratulations, our Parks Community Hero. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Low pressure and front going east. That should just about do it for the rainfall. Maybe some lingering rain for about early afternoon, then 50 degrees with a cloudy sky, but most of the accumulating rain over. Cloudy tonight, 43 with a gusty breeze. Friday, much better. Drier air in on a northwest breeze, partly sunny, 55. Saturday, sunny, 65. Sunday, sunny, 70. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by Mattress Firm. It's Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale. Get matched with your perfect bed and save up to $700 on a wide selection of quality mattresses. Plus, score a free adjustable base with a qualifying purchase. See store for details.
Dan Scott here, inviting you to check out my new show every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m. here on ESPN Asheville, where we bring sports and faith together. The Dan Scott Show, 8 a.m. Sundays on ESPN Asheville.
Saturday, November 30th, the Orange Peel presents Rumors, a Fleetwood Mac tribute band. Get your tickets now online at theorangepeel.net. Don't miss Rumors, a Fleetwood Mac tribute band, live November 30th. See you at the Peel.
Using a Clorox disinfecting wipe on your coffee table this cold and flu season feels like... It feels like being bold enough to laugh your weird laugh in front of everyone.
That was a good one.
With Clorox, clean feels confident. Clean feels good. Use as directed on hard, non-porous surfaces.
From the Ingalls Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Now, your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Credit. That's credit. Enter it now.
It's your chance at an inflation vacation. Go to ESPNAVL.com and good luck.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog eat! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, live in the Ingalls studio on 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy heard everywhere you go on the iHeart Radio app, and we're seen everywhere on the YouTube. Just go to thesportsocracy.com. Click that live video link, subscribe to the channel, join us in the chat. Speaking of joining us, on Saturday, the Ingalls Living the Dream Tour will roll on. We will have the Parks Ford of Hendersonville mobile studio parked outside of the Social in East Asheville all day on Saturday, as we'll be out there in support of our good friends at the Valley Strong Disaster Relief Organization. You can check them out at valleystrongdisasterrelief.org. This is the folks from Silverados and the Social. They have stepped up in a big way to help the Swannanoa community, and so we're going to step up and try to help drum up some business for them this weekend. Everybody is invited to come on by for the community tailgate in support of Valley Strong Disaster Relief.
They will have the bar open. They were expanding the menu yesterday when I talked to the Mrs. Short. And basically she said, we're just going to let you take over for a day.
Oh, this should be fun.
I would not have said that
way. So we will have all of the details for you on that one coming up tomorrow on the program. We'll have some more teasers of things that'll be going on while we're hanging out there tomorrow. We'll do some lives on the YouTube stream. We'll do some question and answer sessions if it calls for it. Just going to hang out and watch some football, have a grand old time.
So that will be uncensored, as we do when we are not on the terrestrial radio waves. And you will be able to ask anything you want. You can ask fantasy football questions. You ask college football questions, gambling questions. You can ask about Gail Benson, as Sir Jimothy just did in a Super Chat.
And I was going to say, if you can't join us and you want a Super Chat in as well, I believe it's only fair that Super Chats from the Saturday shows will go to Valley Strong Disaster Relief.
Correct.
So there it is. Speaking of the Super Chat, let's get to this one.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here
comes the
money.
Well, I'm gonna let you figure out how to read that one.
You should have shook your head or something and said, I don't think you want to read that one.
It's way more fun for me this way.
I don't think we should read that one.
I mean, that's probably Sir Jimothy asked a question that I'm not sure we could ask on the radio. But a slew of New Orleans Saints fans have said it deserved.
The bell. Yes, the fact that Gail Benson is very attractive for a 77-year-old NFL owner.
I did not expect the chat was going to go that way today. On my bingo card of ways that this could go, I didn't have that one.
That's somebody's meemaw. That's all I'm saying.
I can't do it. If you were here for Brian Daboll's head coach of the year candidacy, you know what I wanted to say.
Exactly. Welcome into the show for all of those who are just tuning in and have no idea what we're laughing about.
People that have been around for a long time are going, good for you.
Believe it or not, this is not the NFL owners hot or not list that way. This is we're not swiping in this exercise. At number 14 on the 2024 NFL Owners Power Ranking.
Stephen Tao, we know you're already here. It's the FCC that might be listening that could have a qualm with us saying that. Although I do want to. Jed York of the San Francisco 49ers.
Too much belief in John Lynch?
That brought him down for me a bit. To me, Jed York is... I think he's a good owner. I don't think he's as good as some of the others do. I mean, we looked at a lot of lists leading up to doing this ranking, and I don't think I saw one that he wasn't in the top 10. And I'm just not really sure what – I mean, is it because the DeBartolo family was so brutal? Is that why we view him so positively?
I don't know. There are a lot of people who still have – San Francisco in their minds as this well-built, well-oiled machine that is, I don't know, maybe the hope is that somehow, some way they'll be back in it. I mean, it's hard to look at an owner of a team that the team has been to a couple of Super Bowls recently and go, that's bad ownership.
I don't disagree with you. That's why he's up this high. I just still look at the way that I don't know, the Jim Harbaugh thing went, the way the Chip Kelly thing went, the way who was the Mike or
Jim Tom
Sula. Ooh. We need to keep that dude away from Gail Benson. That's for sure. That dude looked like a miscreant at the best. He is the national treasure, and you keep shoveling concrete or whatever it is.
It's more of a national treasure than I ever thought. I didn't know this until today.
There's been a lot of tumult in San Francisco that Kyle Shanahan seems to be smoothing over. Well, I mean, Jed York's been the owner of this team for 15 years, 16 years. So I think he's fine. I don't think it's anything to jump down.
Right. Think back to where Jed York would have been at the time of the Jim Harbaugh fiasco. Right, Jim Harbaugh takes you to a Super Bowl and then you fire him.
Yeah, because you sided with Trent Baalke, who we all now know exactly what he is.
Right.
And now you're doing it with John Lynch. And I feel like you get credit for things that you don't necessarily deserve credit for.
Yeah. At number 13.
I don't know if you feel this way, but for me, this is where we start to see now we're getting into the good to very good. You disagree vehemently, but I think you're super wrong. You're too close to it. Malcolm Glazer of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What is your problem with him?
I don't know. It's just I haven't liked them for a long time, and it's because, well, I mean, we only have success once every little bit. And
did he set fireworks in the last Beaver Moon?
No. I mean, at the time of the last dark days of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, before you went out and convinced Tom Brady to come to town, gave him the keys to the city, and of course, we all know how that went. You went and won a Super Bowl immediately. You were still competitive for 2 more after that. It was, well, 1 more after that. In the darkest days, they act like they don't care, or it feels like they don't care. And then we had the whole thing about them buying the soccer team, and they should, and they ran that one into the ground. And we've just been waiting for them to run this one aground again. And without Tom Brady, where would we be? And so you got to give them credit for that, like going out and finding the opportunity. You saw the opportunity to go out and make this a championship team, and you did. So you got to give them credit for that. But overall, I mean, who wouldn't have made that deal? What other owner
who could have convinced Tom Brady to come to that team? Got to give him some credit for that.
Well, I mean,
you weren't the only team that wanted him.
Right. And maybe Malcolm having him come over to remember when they got all crazy when he went over to the Man U game? Tom Brady got invited over and they were courting him and all that. Like, maybe that played a role in it. I don't know. Was it just Bruce Arians? Was it just the talent on the team that got you down there?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say Bruce Arians by himself was not enough to convince Tom
No,
Brady.
I'm not saying it was all on him. I just don't. And Malcolm's got one of those faces, too, that I just, oof.
Matt Penn has it
Can't
perfectly.
stand it.
Tank doesn't like him because he's the owner of the team he roots for.
Sure.
Bingo.
You have to hate the owner of your own team, I think. I feel like that's how that has to go.
I think we're getting into the territory where I would say most of these fan bases don't hate their owner.
Right. So maybe he's in the perfect spot here. Some from the outside look at him and say, that's a good-ish owner. Yeah. All right. I guess good-ish is good enough for me. Number 12.
The shareholders of the Green Bay Packers. It still blows my mind that we have an NFL team that's owned by the city.
Mm-hmm. But where they stand right now, it continues to work. You're still toward the top of your division. The organization has a really good culture, and you just seem to be hitting. And as long as you keep firing, or I guess as long as you keep hitting on all of those shots that you take, and I can't really have you much lower than this. And nobody's more dedicated to a team than the people who own it.
For sure. I mean, I have several problems with this model. I think there's a reason that you haven't won a Super Bowl in 30 years. In 20 years. Math is hard. And I think you can kind of tie it back to the team president is basically your figurehead. That being said, it does lead to a very stable environment because the team president, basically you're nominating your owner. You have a board that picks the team president.
Mm-hmm.
That's a far different model than anybody else. I mean, I'll be honest with you, as a Jet fan, I'd kill for it because I'll go ahead and tell you, their last name wouldn't be Johnson. And it works. I don't think it works as well as everybody thinks it does, and there are some flaws to it, but it's also stable because you know this team's going to be here forever.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way you're taking it away from them.
No. Let's go number 11.
This, to me, is the line of demarcation where we get into, all right, now we're into the good ownership groups.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's at the bottom because your good was, 100 years ago. John Mara of the New York Football Giants.
I mean, that's another one that you do have 2 Super Bowls in this century. Mm-hmm. However, it feels like that was a long way away. It feels like it's been 80 years since the Giants were relevant in anything. It
doesn't feel that long.
It does to me. Because the 2 Super Bowls that you won, I mean, they were impressive, sure. It's impressive. But there wasn't like the culture of winning that led to, 12-win seasons 6 years in a row and you finally broke through and won a couple. No, this wasn't the Denver Broncos, right?
I should also point out that Steve Teich also owns this team.
Yes, he does.
Mara's the one that goes to all the meetings. And to be honest with you, Mara's the reason that you're this high. A lot of people give him flack for holding on for too long. I would be remiss if I didn't point out that's worked out pretty well over the course of the last 50 years. This is the way the team's always been. Yeah, when it's bad and it stays bad.
Mm-hmm.
But he also has a louder voice at those tables than anybody really realizes. You got these legacy families that have been around forever, and they have a voice that a lot of other teams don't. My family helped build this league. Yeah, when I speak, you listen.
Yep.
And I think that is conducive to the Giants. I also look at how stable it is from the top down. I've never looked at the Giants and gone, John Mara is the reason this team is not good.
Mm-hmm.
This team is not good because they have not done a good job drafting quarterbacks.
Yeah,
I mean, your best quarterback in the last
but see,
50 years is Eli Manning.
Right. See, but that's where I fall off of, okay, so you do have the 2 Super Bowls since 2000. But the last several decisions that you've made or that you've signed off on have not worked. David Gettleman, that didn't go well, right? You've been through the revolving door of coaches. Now you're getting ready to fire another coach and another GM and Joe Shane. Like, you're not doing a great job lately. So that's where I feel like that's why they had to be kind of down here at the bottom of the good tier, because there is a culture in the building. They have been around forever. They have won Super Bowls, quote unquote, recently, but also the more recent future or more recent past has not been good.
The thing you got to understand about Joe Shane and Brian Daboll is that a lot of teams in the NFL would have fallen for that. I gave them flack when you were trying to hire when you hired Joe Judge.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one where I go, okay, that nobody else was doing that. Brian Daboll was the hottest candidate in that cycle, and Joe Shane was kind of a tandem deal because they came from Buffalo together.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I think that's a stable ownership group, very old school. But I would rather hold on to a GM and a coach a year too long than fire them a year too early.
Yep.
Because then you're basically resetting the entire franchise every 2 years, 3 years.
Right. We're going to take a break here in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, and when we get back, it'll be time to get into the top 10 of the NFL owners' rankings.
What if you could hear your favorite song for the first time again? Introducing the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks. With an available Bose Personal Plus sound system that uses speakers in the headrest to create a 360-degree listening experience. You've never heard anything like this. Reimagine your music and your drive. Experience the all-new, reimagined Nissan Kicks for yourself at nissanusa.com today.
Available feature. Bose is a registered trademark of the Bose Corporation.
Life is complicated. Your health insurance shouldn't be. That's why CareSource offers specialized marketplace health plans built specifically for your health challenges. Now our benefits are better than ever before. We even have plans for our members with chronic conditions like diabetes and heart disease. You'll get your own care manager too. Affordable health coverage, strong network, one-on-one support. CareSource Marketplace Health Plans. We got you. Learn more at caresource.com/marketplace. CareSource North Carolina Company.
My friends swim no matter the season, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now, thanks to Skyrizi and clear skin, count me in. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor today about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis, and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. Download our free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
It's time to kick off the perfect tailgate and take your team to Ingles. Chips and guac made fresh in store every day. The best meat in town packaged fresh every day. And smiling faces giving you their best every day. Let's be real, in the South, football season is our favorite season of the year. There's a lot to smile about, especially with deals like these. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
The Sportsocracy.
These guys are a f***ing disgrace.
We're back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. We're into the top 10 of the NFL owners' rankings here on a Threadbare Thursday. You can continue to throw out topic suggestions in the YouTube chat. If you threw one out earlier, this thing has crashed like 6 times, so there's no past in my YouTube stream. So if you asked a question earlier that we didn't get to, throw that into the YouTube chat now. Just go to thesportsocracy.com, click the live video link, subscribe to the channel, and that gets you into the chat. Top 10 of the NFL owners' rankings for 2024 at number 10, Jeremy.
Arthur Blank of the Atlanta Falcons. Mr. Cruella DeVille himself. He does look like a guy that would wear a suit made of puppies.
He does.
But I think he might be the most underrated owner in sports. You know what he reminds me of? Mark Cuban.
Okay.
He's so good to the players. Players love him. He's so good to the city. It just hasn't translated into the win yet.
And will it ever is the big question. Every Falcons fan wants to know, will we ever be able to win the big one? We've been there twice now, and it did not go our way. It's not like there's a question of, should we jump ship? I don't feel like there are Falcons fans that are necessarily at that point. Because you give us winning season, bad season. Winning season, bad season. It's usually the same thing all the time.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. As long as I can show up to your stadium with a hundy in my pocket and get properly libated and 5 or 6 hot dogs, I give you a whole mess of latitude.
Right. It's good for the fans. I get it. I still think the whole putting yourself in your own ring of honor was a little weird. But that's a recent development that we can look past.
Well, and it's not just, there's a board that chooses that.
I know.
So it wasn't, yes.
I know, it's still just weird. Welcome to my stadium. Let's honor me.
Well, look who you're talking to. If I built a stadium, there would be a nude statue of me in the end zone. And I would give myself a lot more credit than I deserved.
I heard no lies there.
Gads. Man thinks highly of himself, doesn't he?
I'm calling BS on that one.
I look at Arthur Blank as I think every team that hasn't won squat, which I am a fan of one of those, looks at him and goes, I wish you were what we had. Like, if I'm not going to win, I wish I had you that would make the fan experience this much better. That's the most fun stadium in the NFL to watch a game, and I don't think it's close.
Really? Okay. I haven't been to enough of them to judge, and I've never been to a pro game there, but I will say it was a lot of fun at the Atlanta or at the Georgia Clemson game.
Kickoff classic.
Yep, to kick off the Ingles the Living the Dream tour this season. Number 9.
Josh Harris of the Washington Commanders.
Is it too early to have him in the top 10?
Not for me. Not for me.
And it couldn't have gone any better. The start of the Josh Harris era as owner of the Washington Commanders could not have gone better. In the first, was he owner last year, or was Or is that new? Or is this the first year?
This is year 2.
This is year 2. So in year 2, you've apparently, allegedly, found the coach. You know you've found your quarterback.
Well, he knows how to be an owner because he's owned teams in other arenas before.
Right. Yeah.
I look at Josh Harris, and Gambit fan said it perfectly because he did the hiss boo thing, and then he said he's a great owner, and that's why I hate him because he's the owner of a team in my division.
Mm-hmm.
That's really, I think about as ringing of an endorsement as I can give you. A franchise that has been as torn down as this franchise has, because your previous owner was 32 with a bullet for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're here this quick. It just tells me you've learned a lot as owner of the Philadelphia 76ers. And he's got a boatload of money, and he's not afraid to spend it. I think they're going to get a full stadium deal done within the next calendar year.
Mm-hmm.
I would say by the end of 25, we know where it's going to be, what it's going to look like. And you get them out of that dump that is FedEx Field, because nobody around Washington wanted to do a land deal with Daniel Snyder. And you've already got the franchise quarterback. I mean, Woody Johnson's been the owner of the Jets for 25 years. He's never had a franchise quarterback. Josh Harris did it in 2.
Yep.
Oh, and by the way, that was a terrible scouting team. They're not anymore.
Nope.
Why do you think that is? Because he came in and cleaned house.
Is it luck or is it skill? I think time will tell. But at this point, the new owner is doing exactly what the new owner should do.
For sure. And you got Magic Johnson tied to this and all kinds of other people.
Mm-hmm.
We have a super chat. This one from Sir Jimothy, and I can read it out loud.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
He one day wants us to rank the stadiums from a fan and player perspective one day.
Okay.
I'm trying to think how many stadiums in the league I haven't been to. It's about half.
You've been to way more stadiums than I have.
It's about half.
I got about half of the stadiums in the Southeast.
You been to Tampa?
Nope. I've never been to a game in Tampa.
You've never been to the to the new Sombrero?
Nope.
You ever go to the old Sombrero?
Nope. I went and watched practices there once. Wow. But I've never seen the game atmosphere. I've never even been inside the stadium. I've been outside it. I've actually been in the lobby of the place and showed up like 15 minutes late for the last tour of the day and went, well, there was my opportunity.
So you've never been to Jacksonville?
Never been to Jacksonville.
You're not missing much.
I've been to Atlanta, but not for a pro game.
You've never been to Nashville?
I've never been to Nashville.
That's a sweet stadium. I can't believe they're rebuilding that place.
Mm-hmm. And I've been to Bank of America several times. I've now been to the new and the old stadiums. I've been to the Georgia Dome for a Falcons game.
Dump.
And I just now got to experience Mercedes-Benz this year. But yeah, I don't travel like you do, Jeremy. That's why this past year has been kind of crazy, going all over the world with you.
Oh,
and
just
Mark.
wait. Oh, just wait. It's our version of it has been extended. We'll tell you more about that in the coming week.
Yes, indeed. So Josh Harris of the Washington Commanders is at number 9. At number 8,
Stan Kroenke of the L.A. Rams. That dude has got a gajillion dollars.
Mm-hmm.
He has built. That's the stadium that I haven't seen that I really want to, because it looks wild. I don't know Stan personally. I actually know somebody that worked for him. And this is a long roundabout story of Stan Kroenke owns about 40 gajillion companies. A very close friend of mine was married to a woman that was like one of his personal assistants for a business. So he's the nicest guy you'll ever meet in your life. He's super down to business, and it kind of shows with the Rams. Les Snead's been there forever. Sean McVay's been there forever. It says something, because it hasn't all been peaches and rainbows. I've never for a second thought Les Snead or Sean McVay was in any form of danger, because you got stability from the top down. It also says something that at one time he owns a franchise in every sport Isn't that correct?
I believe that's right.
Because he owns the Nuggets,
Mm-hmm.
he owns the St. Louis Blues,
Mm-hmm.
and he owns the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he owns a baseball team, but I'm not sure which one.
I don't know that he does.
At one time, every one of his teams was the reigning champion. Because the Blues had won the
I think
Stanley
maybe
Cup.
you're thinking of the Walton family. Because the Walton family has the Rockies, and they have the Avalanche, and they have – don't they have a basketball team?
No.
I thought they had a basketball team. Okay, so maybe the Broncos are just 3 of the 4 main sports.
He may own it. Maybe he owns an MLS team, and that's what I'm.
Maybe that is correct. Maybe so. Stan Kroenke's a hell of a businessman, and it led to, of course, the futuristic stadium, and it led you to Super Bowl.
Oh, he doesn't own the Blues. He owns the Avalanche.
Ah,
The
okay.
Avalanche, the Nuggets, the Colorado Rapids, the Colorado Mammoth, and the Arsenal Soccer Club.
The Mammoth? What is the Mammoth?
It's a lacrosse team.
Okay.
I would have sworn he owned the St. Louis Blues.
Guess I never thought about there being a professional lacrosse league.
Yeah.
Interesting. You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM.
We went down a
1400.
weird rabbit hole of looking at Stan Kroenke's portfolio going, my Lord have mercy, that dude must have a bajillion dollars.
He's got walls in his house that are wallpapered with hundos.
Stan Kroenke looks at his bank balance and just goes, I am a big man on campus. It's oh, do you not like me? Well, you should. Take a look at that. And that's one of 11 bank accounts, friends. 2 commas. 3 numbers to the left of the first one.
You're in the Sportsocracy. We will wrap up the 2024 NFL Owners Power Rankings after this.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Low pressure and front going east. That should just about do it for the rainfall. Maybe some lingering rain for about early afternoon, then 50 degrees with a cloudy sky, but most of the accumulating rain over. Cloudy tonight, 43 with a gusty breeze. Friday, much better. Drier air in on a northwest breeze, partly sunny, 55. Saturday, sunny, 65. Sunday, sunny, 70. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is sponsored by eBay. We all got a thing. Yes, even you. If you love fashion, car parts, trading cards, whatever you're into, it's on eBay. So go find the thing that keeps you up at night. eBay. Things people love.
Nothing says welcome home like insanely clean carpets from Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. For a limited time, get 3 rooms cleaned for just $129. Easily schedule your cleaning online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
At Asheville Smiles Cosmetic and Family Dentistry, they are back to doing what they do best, caring for this Asheville community. Whether you're an existing patient, maybe you're facing a dental emergency, or you're ready to reestablish your care, Asheville Smiles is here for you. They are so proud to be a part of Asheville, where smiling means strength, resilience, and progress. Thanks to our community, we're Asheville strong, making incredible strides together. For compassionate, expert dental care with a hometown heart, trust Asheville Smiles. Online at ashevillesmiles.com.
I never thought much about final expenses until my dad passed away last year. That's when I decided to take control of my own final expense planning. Then I found the Smart Money Insurance app. I secured a final expense insurance policy that fits my needs and budget. You can get coverage up to $25,000 with policies starting as low as $14 per month. Download the Smart Money Insurance app today and take the first step towards your peace of mind.
Insurance sold by Smart Money Insurance Services, Inc. Underwritten by various insurers. Coverage exclusions and limitations may apply.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
This is where it starts. Where your story begins. This is the trail you blaze yourself. And step by step, you get stronger, faster, better. This is where it starts. How will you finish? Ingalls, we're with you every step of the way.
This is J.W. Whitley with Parks Ford of Hendersonville. I'm so excited to introduce you to this month's Parks Community Hero, Meals on Wheels. Meals on Wheels, with the help of numerous volunteers, delivers nutritious meals and friendly conversation to homebound seniors. Throughout their meal delivery program, you can help seniors keep their independence. To get involved, visit MOWABC.com. Thank you to Meals on Wheels and congratulations, our Parks Community Hero. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at clarissasellswnc.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or clarissasellswnc@gmail.com.
The Sportsocracy.
Let's open up the whole can of kick-ass and kill them all. Let the paramedics sort them out.
Jeremy almost spitting water across the board. What I have to know, what was that?
You'll see on the YouTube stream momentarily. I actually just made the cover of your autobiography.
Uh-huh.
It's AI flawless.
Okay. Waiting for that to pop up on my screen.
Will be very, very soon.
We had some interesting discussion during the break in the YouTube comments. Somebody asked, does Tank even know what lacrosse is?
I feel very sure he doesn't.
I mean, of course I do. Of course. Okay, I see the picture now.
Yeah,
me and Beaver Moon.
Yeah, you and that's it.
Yeah, Beaver Moon. That's the son of Dan Moon. Gerald's tires and brakes, shocks, struts, and front end alignments.
None of you know this, but that's a character that Tank does that is, without a doubt, the funniest thing that none of you ever get access to.
When you hear me do this voice, that means I'm being stupid. I'm being Dan Moon.
Yeah.
God rest his soul.
Yeah.
He's a host that I used to work for down in Charleston. He did kind of talk like that.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I do know what lacrosse is. I mean, look, I have seen the releases from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill every time they win a lacrosse championship because I think they win a bunch of them. I am familiar. I mean, that's what Stifler played, right? The American Pie movies, that's what they were playing.
Sure.
Him and you. I know you saw American Pie. Don't play dumb with me.
I did see the first one.
And they were on the lacrosse team, correct?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh, you're not helping here.
I know something about a flute and band camp.
I mean,
outside of that, I don't really remember much about that movie.
I mean, the question was asked: is that
I also remember that the lead, I believe, played by what was his name, Jason Biggs. He had an extracurricular activity that I could easily see Tank being involved in.
You can't remember if they played lacrosse in the movie, but you remember the name Jason Biggs for some reason.
I got a crazy brain, Tank. It's broken. All right.
It is.
I was hugged too much and not enough at the same time as a child.
Right. I mean,
weird things.
I always assumed lacrosse was the game that the kids who couldn't play football played. Sorry if that offends anybody. But I'm pretty sure they do not play lacrosse at Inca.
I don't know.
Somebody had asked something about it. Wasn't that the game that the Incas played? You know, the Indians?
I've seen you take a Wonderlick, and that was a number that was shockingly low. I would like to have an actual IQ-ologist come in here and tell me what Tank's IQ is.
IQ-ologist.
Because I swear to God, I think it's a number that if you ate that many cheeseburgers in a day, you might die. Not definitively, you might die. I'm surfing somewhere about that 45, 55 block.
Yeah. It's not so much that I don't know stuff. I just know a lot of stuff that's not true. At number 7 in the 2024 NFL Owners Power Rankings.
That should be the tagline of your autobiography. Beyond a shadow of a doubt.
At number 7.
From Dan to Beavers, the story of moons. It's not that I don't know things, just most of what I know is inaccurate. Jeffrey Lurie!
From the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, tonight, Philadelphia Eagles playing the Washington Commanders on Thursday Night Football. Jeffrey Lurie, I mean, what's the knock on him? That he can't find the coach?
Well,
right, you had Doug Peterson, and that didn't work. You have Nick Sirianni, and that's never going to work. How much How much do you put that on his shoulders?
Well, my reticence with Jeffrey Lurie is he is up here in kind of rarefied air, and of the ones that have been owners for an extended period of time, he's probably the least successful. I mean, he bought this team when I was 7 years old. They have a Super Bowl, and there's been a lot more Jalen Hurts and Donovan McNabb than there has Philly.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was going to say, but in that time.
I mean, in that time, he's hired Andy Reid and Howie Roseman.
Right.
Yep. I think you hired the best coach and the best GM.
Mm-hmm.
That puts you up here, period.
Right. The fact that he couldn't hang on to Andy Reid, or Andy Reid had worn out his welcome in Philadelphia. I mean, sometimes that happens, but they were so good when he was there.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, here's the thing. The message got stale. I don't know that Andy would have ever won a Super Bowl there. They needed the mutual parting of ways.
Yes. It was never going to happen.
By the way, we have a super chat that we missed.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
That's from our buddy Bo Walker saying he would see us Saturday at the all-day live stream for Valley Strong DisasterRelief.org.
Yes. Got it. Nailed it. He didn't even have to write it down.
And they didn't even have to pound it in my head. They did yours.
They did. I've been practicing it all day because I'm like, every time I say that, I feel like it's wrong. And guess what? Every time I've said it up until today has been wrong. So it's Valley Strong DisasterRelief.org is the website. Bo, we'll be happy to see you on Saturday.
Bo and Karen.
Only if you're bringing Karen.
For sure.
I mean, Karen has to come too.
We do want the both of you to appear.
Yes, we do.
I think Bo and Karen have shown up at practically every event we've ever done, and we love them so very much for that.
Absolutely. So yeah, we will see y'all on Saturday at the Social all day long. We'll be hanging out there. We'll be on the YouTube stream live at 11 o'clock for those who are not able to join us in town. I mean, hey, if you're able to fly into town and join us, we would love to have you out at the Social in East Asheville.
Oh, we'll buy you a beer.
Indeed.
I mean, the profit and loss there is way off, but
it would be worth it just to say that you had a tasty beverage with Flostradamus.
Not even close, and I am him. But I would laud you, and we would talk about you on the show for quite some time.
Yes, and all Super Chats that day will be donated to Valley Strong Disaster Relief, and we're just trying to support their business while they are uplifting the community of Swannanoa with all of their charitable work out there and they will not go away. They have vowed they will be there as long as you need it.
Kristen, I talked to her yesterday, and she said, I almost feel guilty that I'm not there now, and she was not there now, getting everything back in order at the Social, which is, how they pay their bills.
Exactly.
And that's everything you need to know about them in a nutshell. That was literally the second thing that she said to me yesterday. The first one was, how do you spell your show name? Because it's difficult to spell.
Yes. Okay, now number 6 on the NFL owners rankings.
Art Adam Rooney II.
Is Adam his real name?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I didn't Google it.
Okay. Now, you didn't use Nathaniel this time, so it threw me off. I thought you were actually using a real name.
In my head, there are a lot of people named Nathaniel. Mm-hmm. It's a great name.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's not my name, but it's a great one.
All right. So Art Austin Rooney. Let's. I mean, it's hard to argue with a culture like the Pittsburgh Steelers. Precisely. The only reason you're this low is because you haven't won anything in a while.
Well, for me, it's actually not just that. That's part of it. But one of the things that I've always kind of found funny about the Rooney family is that it seems like they all kind of look alike and they have very similar names, and I don't think people can differentiate them. This one's only been around since 2017. This has not been a golden era of Pittsburgh Steelers football. This is the best they've been in his entire reign. They've always been competitive. They've always been playoff contenders, but they haven't really contended for anything outside of that. But the stability of the franchise is it was hard for me to not have them in the top 5, but I couldn't I couldn't have him pass any of the ones in the top 5. And there is one name on that list that might surprise you.
Is it the one at number 5?
Sure is. Oh, well, no.
Nope,
it's not. No, it's not. Kim and Terry Pagula of the Buffalo Bills. You talk about a group that does everything for their community. I'm not. If those two ran for mayor of Buffalo, they would win 99.7%
landslide
to 0.3, and the 0.3 that didn't vote for them can't read.
Mm-hmm.
They thought they were voting for him, but they wrote in Yosemite Sam. It is shocking to see how well they have integrated into that community as the owner of the Bills. And you look at it's so funny because in that division you have the haves and the have-nots. You've got 2 really good ownership groups and 2 really terrible ones. And it's not ironic that over the last 25 years, the 2 that are awesome ownership groups have dominated this division.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2 have 3 combined division titles. That's not shocking.
Yep. It's been real good, since Josh Allen came to town and since Stephon Diggs came to town. It's been real good. They've been contenders, and they're contenders again. You got the stadium deal to consider. Of course, there's the community relations part of it. They're just great owners. This is a winning franchise now. Now comes into the question, what will they do? Will you go all in to win one? When do you make the tough decisions on coaching staff?
Well, I mean, Sean McDermott feels like he's got another stay of execution because this was the year that the landslide would have made sense, and he's 8-2. So,
I'm not saying that there's a justified reason here, but every year it comes down to the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You're not winning because
you're going up against Jim Harbaugh or John Harbaugh, now Jim Harbaugh and Andy Reid.
Mm-hmm. If you keep losing,
you're not as good as those 3. Sorry, I hate to break it to you, but you're not.
And if you keep losing that battle, at some point, the hard question is going to have to come of, okay, we're really good, we're winning 11, 12 games a year, but we can't win the big one. That's a tough place for an owner to be in. Number 4.
Sheila Ford Hamp of the Detroit Lions.
Okay, this one seems, staying in the Ford family. It's
when did she take over the team?
3 years ago?
2020.
Okay, 4 years ago.
Name me the misstep since.
Mm-hmm. It's a great point.
They are now the Midwest Buffalo Bills. That team is so ingrained into that city, and it wasn't always that way.
Mm-hmm.
They always loved the team, but the team was just going to let them down. Now, you and I have been in this city this year.
Mm-hmm.
It is mind-boggling how bought into the Lions they are. And I don't think there's an irony that it came right after she took over this team. I've heard, I have to be honest, I don't know her personally. Never met her, never been in the same room as her, don't know really squat about her. But everything I have ever heard is she is insanely smart and has an insanely good business mind. And it's borne itself out on the field. She made the call on Brad Holmes. She and Brad Holmes made the call on Dan Campbell. Might be the 2 best hires of the last 20 years in the NFL. In terms of GM, you hired a GM that literally turned around a completely woe.
Sanders was there. It's fun to be a Detroit Lions fan. Mm-hmm. Maybe you had some moments with Matthew Stafford and Calvin Johnson, but you weren't ever feeling real great about that because the winning wasn't there. The stats were there. The highlights were there, but you didn't do a lot of winning. Now you have all of it. You have the full package, and somebody mentioned it earlier in the YouTube chat that's one of those stadiums that we need to go to now because now it's fun to go.
Oh, for sure.
Now
we saw it.
Yeah, now it's fun to be turned up at Ford Field.
We slept right down the street from it. So, you could see it out the window of where we stayed.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Penn in our YouTube comment said, when another Ford was given the reins, I'll be honest, I rubbed my temples and said, oh, God, not again. But Sheila's great because she hired football people and got out of the way.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. At number 3,
Steve Bisciotti. If it wasn't for the 2 names at 1 and 2, you would be 1 or 2. But
every year we get around the draft, and it always comes out.
Steve Bisciotti is flawless as an NFL owner. There's only one thing he doesn't have, and the two in front of him do.
Yep.
That's it. That's the only tiebreaker for me.
Championships.
Yep. We got two that have a slew of them, and you have of them.
Mm-hmm. Baltimore Ravens owner Steve Bisciotti at number 3.
I also think he's as probably good in a community as anybody, and there's no scandal with him whatsoever. Have you ever heard anybody say a negative word about him?
I don't believe so.
I haven't. I'm not gonna lie, I scoured for it.
Mm-hmm. No controversies, no bad land deals, no shady business dealings. No, none of that.
I'm not sure that the Baltimore Ravens aren't the best run team in sports. They don't have an Andy Reid. They don't have Pat Mahomes. They don't have geographic advantages. But in terms of if we melted it all down to everything's equal, I'm not sure the Baltimore Ravens aren't the best run team in sports.
Mm-hmm. Matt Penn says if we ever find ourselves at Ford Field, he's got the first round.
And
deal, Matt. We'll let you know.
I love Detroit. And when I say I love that city,
awesome.
I mean that's the top 3 cities in the country to me.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the cities we've been to, Indianapolis and Detroit were the two that I walked away from going, I could live here. Indianapolis, I could definitely live there because I don't think you ever have to drive a car, and I hate driving. Detroit was it was so different from what I thought. Growing up in the South, there is a stigma with Detroit that I expected to have to clutch my pearls, and I didn't. We met the coolest people. I loved every bit of it.
Yes.
I've become a low-key de facto Detroit Lion fan. I liked Detroit that much. And my team gives me absolutely nothing to root for.
I've always had the soft spot in my heart for the Detroit Lions. It's more about the colors than anything, though. Because I look good in blue. I'm just saying. I do. I knew that was coming.
Back to the goat you go.
At number 2.
Actually, you know what? It's funnier with you and Beaver Moon. Number 2, Robert Kraft.
Robert Kraft, of course, the New England Patriots. The dynasty is not the dynasty anymore. But he also told Bill Belichick to go pound sand when he saw that the game had passed him by.
He did. Look, Bob Kraft is a phenomenal owner. The difference between him and one is really simple.
Mm-hmm. We're not in your dynasty anymore. We're in mine. At number 1.
Well, I mean, we could go that path. I was just going to say we don't have to give number 1 a hand. Number 1, Clark Hunt of the Kansas City Chiefs. You'll get that in just a minute.
Mm-hmm. We got it.
Yeah.
We got you. Number 1 is Clark Hunt. You know, you can't really say that he's doing a bad job when he has practically the best of everything, or at least the best of everything important in this game. And have you ever heard a thought that anybody could leave there? Has there ever been a rumbling that Patrick Mahomes wants to leave, or Travis Kelce's not happy, or any of that? They've done nothing but bend over backwards to keep their talent happy. Chris Jones, I know there was talk that he was leaving. Did you ever for a second think that they were going to let him walk out the door?
No, I didn't.
No, because that's a well-run organization.
And then you look at the fact that this is a legacy. The AFC Championship trophy is named after his father. And I got news for you. The next in line is his daughter, Gracie. And guess what? She's real bright, too.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about one for – did you think about this for a second?
No. The only thing that made me pause about it was that dumb report that came out that they were the worst franchise in the league when it came to the players, and I thought, well, maybe there's something to that I don't know. But that was all about extra amenities that you offer to the players and things like that. I mean, okay, it may not be the greatest facilities, but guess what? You're getting ready to get a $5 billion stadium somewhere. It's either going to be in Kansas City or it's going to be right across the border in Kansas. You're getting that deal done somewhere. They've changed the state law to make sure that you're getting one. you can't argue with success, and nobody has success in the current NFL like the Kansas City Chiefs.
And you just look at from pillar to post how many great decisions have been made, including the contract of your quarterback. That comes from ownership.
Mm-hmm. And I know
they're not cash flush the way some of these other ownership groups are.
Yep.
They were early into this. That is a very large percentage of their net worth. Now, they've made money in other places too, but this is not like Dave Tepper, who has $1 jillion outside of the team.
Yeah.
That makes that even more impressive to me.
Yeah.
Bob Kraft's family owns macaroni and cheese. All of it, because that's the only brand of macaroni and cheese I can name.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if Bob Kraft decided no more mac and cheese, he could do that. Clark Hunt can't do that.
Fair. And I know it doesn't really count toward this ranking, but one thing we can say about Clark Hunt, he breeds really well.
Yes, he does.
You're in the Sportsocracy, and this is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Jeremy, you got a way that the folks can make some money?
I do not have. It went away. My computer is.
Get Cat Jeremy up on the screen.
I can do.
You can win some money with the DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. The Emirates NBA Cup is underway. Group play began this Tuesday. All 30 teams split into 6 groups every Tuesday and Friday. While they're in pool play, they will fight for the right to advance to the single elimination in-season tournament that will culminate in Vegas with the NBA Cup Championship. And if it's your first time, they got a special deal for you. All you got to do is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, bet $5, and new customers get $200 instantly in bonus bets.
Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code WPEK. That's code WPEK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms or responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball.
We will be back with you tomorrow right here in the Sportsocracy inside the Ingalls studio at noon.
Saturday, November 30th, the Orange Peel presents Rumors, a Fleetwood Mac tribute band. Get your tickets now online at theorangepeel.net. Don't miss Rumors, a Fleetwood Mac tribute band, live November 30th. See you at the Peel.
FEMA is hiring people in Durham, Hickory, and Asheville to support North Carolina's Tropical Storm Helene recovery efforts. Many different positions are available for a wide range of skill sets, including planning, communications, logistics, and community engagement. Be a part of helping your community heal and rebuild. To see all open positions and to apply, visit usajobs.gov and type keywords FEMA and a local hire, and then enter your location as North Carolina.
Get ready, Asheville. This year, the Holiday Parade is taking on a new look as the Holiday Jamboree, presented by Bojangles. Join us in Pack Square Park on Saturday, November the 23rd for a festive day filled with holiday fun, produced by the Asheville Downtown Association and the City of Asheville. Enjoy live performances on the main stage, shop for unique gifts at our holiday market, and don't miss free photos with Santa, a gift from the North Carolina Arboretum. Get into the holiday spirit with family and friends. That's the Holiday Jamboree at Pack Square Park, Saturday, November the 23rd from 11 to 5. Don't miss it.
At Ingalls, whether we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park, it's all in the bag. Ingalls, low prices, love the savings.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. Our mission, to improve lives with every interaction. This is JW, General Manager at Parks Ford Hendersonville. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com. That's parksfordhendersonville.com.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Low pressure and front going east. That should just about do it for the rainfall. Maybe some lingering rain for about early afternoon, then 50 degrees with a cloudy sky, but most of the accumulated